And I think that is enough of a fucking intro right there.
Agreed.
Yep. Hello, everyone who is watching. I'm actually surprised some of you guys actually jumped right to my stream, all things considered. I thank you guys. You know, I seriously appreciate it. Oh my god, fucking mute my laptop first. Okay, at least I know the audio is working. And welcome to 1.77 Advancing Storm. The dev server, not the actual thing. And what we're looking at right now is the, the Magok 3, the Israeli Tier 5 premium for the United States. Essentially, it's an M48 with a better transmission and a 105mm cannon. Remove the obnoxious commander's cupola that the Americans had. And it's a big tank. Actually, let me boost the volume of here, because the first thing we need to talk about is the new sound engine for ground forces. So if I think I have the patch notes pulled up somewhere. So with the, sound engine, I said a lot of stuff has changed with it. If I can find the stupid thing. So essentially new sounds all around for guns on the ground, automatic cannons. They've been fixed up, reworked, they sound better. There's actually better sounds for the ATGM vehicles. So I've boosted up the volume quite a bit here. Poor IT1. Yep, there we go. And another new feature that is noticeable right off the bat is the replenishment of your primary ammo racks. So let's see if I can fire off another round at this guy right here. Oh, that's the pause button. So this is a feature that's actually been talked about well in the past, and we just haven't heard about it until recently. Or I guess they just decided to slip it in this patch. That being the ability to reload your your primary ammo rack in your tank, that being the one, in this case it's the one in the turret, it gets automatically replenished, and it's basically moving ammo from one place to another in your tank. So I think the first ammo rack gets replenished, then I guess the one right under the gun itself is also replenished, something like that. But so that probably means you won't be able to just simply get rid of your turret ammo anymore, which is, I guess, kind of sad. Whoa, is that what the 50 or 7.7 sound?
One thing to add, John. One thing to add. I don't know if this, but I think if you run out of any ammo and you're ready, I think it slows down your.
It slows down your reload. Well, we could test that. Just keep the thing is, if that depends, if your crew is good, they will probably just keep reloading the primary ammo rack over and over again. Seemingly. True. But let's see, while we're talking about it, let's see how long, so this is the last, I guess, round from the primary ammo rack. So 1, 2, well, okay, that didn't empty the primary ammo rack yet. I'm just going to try to empty it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 seconds. And now we're going to attempt to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Doesn't seem like it. But one thing I will say is, yeah. So with me streaming is Fly Around 5. Okay, all the new comments. I'm watching in the Antarctic, Chile. Hello, Vicente 61299. White. Yep, and Galactic Storm. What's up? So hopefully the stream isn't shitting itself. I hope it's not. At least on, what is it?
working.
On Twitch, at least. If you guys are on YouTube, I would absolutely recommend going to Twitch for better quality and hopefully not as much of a stream delay. You know, and also, if you can, come over to Twitch and follow me. Follow my Twitch channel so that I can get on the path to becoming an affiliate with Twitch, because I would like, especially in this month, I do have plans this month to try to stream more and to get more videos done, because, you know, spring break and just kind of a lull from school stuff. Fuck the T10M's lower plate for some reason. Very specifically, it's a lower plate. We're just gonna keep driving around here. Man, that rework. Also, you can fucking hear that tank burning. Hear that sound? That's the sound of Russian bias dying. Okay, and of course, on Twitch, I did name the stream Q&A. So it's gonna be Q&A. Can you do how-to bombers? Actually, that's a very good question, Mr. Dark War Dragon. Or Dark War Dragon. God, I cannot read. Yes, Mike Z. This is the Magok, the better M48. Israel's better 48, M48 tank. It's kind of like Khosrow's better version of Antioch. Extra credits fans there, hopefully. Ooh, I like that. Do you hear that ring just from? Man, do you even need that new sound pack or that custom sound pack anymore when? Oof. I think you'll hear that the sound I think changes when you're inside the church. Ooh. Yeah, actually, let me boost the volume even more, because seriously, I want to hear this. I want to enjoy this. So let's bring this up to 30. And by the way, I do actually keep the volume pretty low, especially while I'm making videos, so that I can control the volume later. It's easier to make the volume a little bit louder in the background for a video than it is being way too loud. I don't know. It could be. So let's boost that a bit more. Well, at least it doesn't sound like an air cannon or something going off anymore. Okay, and then going back to Dark War Dragon's question, can you do how-to bombers? I was actually planning to do something like that, but in the sense of, for probably even larger aircraft, more of a general guide on bombing. It might be something I'll do with me doing the commentary rather than a how-to guide, normal how-to guide, just because it's a bit more, I don't know, it's not something I would like to do it as a, wow, that lower plate. It would be something that it would be more for talking about instead of being funny, because oh my god, I cannot get my words together. I'm sorry, I just came home from work like an hour ago, so I'm a little bit frazzled. Essentially, I'm planning to do it as a commentary video, so because there's not that much I can do in a how-to guide. I can make a lot of jokes, but sometimes you just want to get to the point and actually talk about what to do, especially with specific nations. And I think that's going to be a better fit for a actual voiced commentary guide. Though I do have a video planned that's going to be, after this patch drops, it's going to be a video about all of the nations of War Thunder for air battles, and kind of like basically a beginner's guide, like for neophytes of War Thunder, people who literally just started playing and then they don't really know what to do. They just like planes, you know, or tanks, but mostly planes. I don't know. I'm more of a plane guy, but I do like playing my tanks. Though let's see, enough of messing around with this tank. Let's actually go into talking about the dev server, and I'm just gonna pull up the patch notes on my secondary monitor, even though, you know, I want to spare every little bit of bandwidth for the stream, but it's gonna be easier for me to read. There we go. Pulling up. So if you got any of you guys who watched my previous dev server streams, you kind of just go from left to right and talk about Since I'm more of an airplane guy, we're going to actually talk about aircraft first, and then I'll go into the tanks. I know Mike has already done his stream for today. Miles is streaming right now, checking out all kinds of stuff, but I'm going to be kind of going into a lot more about aircraft because I love my planes, and we're also going to talk about a lot of the more technical stuff that was added for the most part. So starting with the US, and not that much for aircraft other than that the F-84, the Italian one that was given to the Italians, is now available in the US treaty. F-84G 21.
F-84.
Yeah, it's the fastest F-84. Its max speed is around 603 miles per hour. I guess that's the stat card. Don't know if that's the actual max stat card. It's essentially copy paste from the Italian version, but now it has, it's flying for America, so America can have its giant ridiculous payload available. So this, if you need a high tier close air support vehicle that can deliver a lot of shit on the target very quickly. Oh, excuse me, I also just had dinner. Get this plane. It's gonna be pretty good, though. I have to wonder why they went from a full bubble canopy to something that is framed. I'm assuming, I guess it's just for strength. They were probably having issues with the bubble canopy caving in on itself in real life in this model. And who just did the follow will follow? Magnificent Spedo is now following. Hi, Sped. Boy.
Hey,
Sped,
John,
you're not a weeb.
Me personally, I personally think they went from a bubble to a cage canopy because they would probably, if they were using this for ground attack, they were having bullets hit the full canopy and it shattered.
Yeah, good point. That's another thing. Yeah, the hog. Yeah, this is basically, I think the F-84G is essentially the hog. This is what I think by that point in the Korean War, I would imagine that they were deployed. I can't remember history right off the top of my head, but that's for... Whoa, who just joined in here? Because stream...
Yes.
Oh, look, it is our Russian friend, Mr. Gopnik.
Yeah, and I have gotten myself a T-64B now.
Of course he did.
Good. I can wreck you with my...
Of course he did.
No.
Oh,
because you see, the T-64B can actually block shells from the Abrams.
Nice. Interesting. So
nice thing about the
now,
F-84B or G.
Yep.
The F-84G can drop everything but the toilet. That's left up to the 84.
Yeah. Well, maybe for April Fools we'll get that 6 millionth piece of ordnance dropped over Vietnam joke for the 80s. But moving on to Germany, if you don't know, basically every nation is getting some form of aircraft this patch, and of course Germany, surprise to surprise, they're finally getting an aircraft that Gaijin has decided to meme all the way completely to hell because of the patch name, and that is the Heinkel 177A5 Grief. Oh, grief. Good grief. Why did they have... Of course they would meme it out. So here we go. This is the Grief. It is very big. Really should be a 4-engine bomber. Well, actually it is a 4-engine bomber because it's utilizing a pair... let's see what that looks like. Essentially it's using two DB605 engines welded together, as Goring once complained. I think the comment goes, if I can boot that up, with the... Look it up on the internet and then copy paste it directly into Balabalka. If you don't know, that's the text-to-speech program that I use. I think Miles uses as well for making a lot of our text-to-speech guides. And oh Jesus Christ, it just came up on my screen. Blocks my view. Don't want to crash this thing. And the one thing I will say, I did kind of preview this aircraft right before I left to work. Yeah, that's the other reason why I would have streamed earlier today had I not had to go to work. So I know I'm late. I'm very late, but I still wanted to stream, so I'm streaming. So one thing I remember reading about, doing a little bit of research on the Greif, is that the pilot Eric Brown the RAF, you know, that guy, the guy who's flown the most type of aircraft ever, he actually did get a chance to fly the Greif, and he remarked that the controls for such a large aircraft, for how big it was, they were very light, almost too light. And he was actually extremely worried about abusing the tail control because he's heard about the aircraft having severe failures with the tail control literally just deciding to fuck off and not do anything. And now we're just gonna drop all the fucking bombs everywhere. Look at all those bombs. God. You now have a proper German bomber that can carpet bomb the fuck out of everything.
Don't like a tank, drop 1050s on.
Yep. And of course, since I pulled it up on Wikipedia, the engine here, How to Pizza War Thunder Edition. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the...
What?
Where is this? What was it? I'm looking for it. What the hell? Where? I was literally looking at this comment yesterday, and now I'm annoyed I can't find... Oh, here we go. So, about the engines. So, in real life, the Heinkel 177 had issues with its engines because it was using what essentially was a coupled, a pair of DB 605 engines that were basically chained together and run off of a common crankshaft, so that you would get basically double the horsepower, kind of similar to like the 24-cylinder experiments with U.S. engines, especially like the what was it, the Super Wasp, whatever it was called, though that's a radial engine. So there's a comment that comes from Goring regarding this engine, and I'm just gonna send us back to hangar since we've seen this beast flying around, and I will copy paste this and let it be read.
Why has this silly engine suddenly turned up, which is so idiotically welded together? They told me then there would be two engines connected behind each other, and suddenly there appears this misbegotten monster of welded together engines one cannot get at.
Yeah. Yeah, there were massive issues with this aircraft, especially when it comes to the engines, so we're gonna use the magical powers of NVIDIA Anzel without the stream shitting it. So, oh my god, it's very hard. Jesus Christ, I hope the stream, YouTube is probably going to start suffering horribly. So we're going to get in nice and close. So actually, I forgot to turn on the modules thing so you get a better look. So Alt F2, not Alt F4, Alt F2 if you have a NVIDIA card. So this engine, this giant hulking thing, the issue that they had with the engines is that there was no firewalls in between everything. Electrical cables were way too close to the engines. The engines were not getting enough cooling. Fuel lines were just a mess, and the engines would get hot enough that they would actually start causing the main wing spar to have issues and fuel fires. So it was a pretty frequent event that these planes would come back from combat flight with overheated engines, or having had one of their engines go on fire, or both of them going on fire. That was bad. Also, I just realized, Jesus Christ, why does this thing have so many bloody fuel tanks? Why? Fuel tank, fuel tank, fuel tank, fuel tank. You know, I think
John,
they could have done without...
your own question. It's a long-range bomber. Why would it not have a lot of fuel tanks?
I'm actually just kind of surprised it has that many fuel tanks in the body, so this is going to be a pretty easy aircraft to shoot down, all things considered, sadly.
But it's BR
5.3
and P47Ms.
Yeah, but at least it's not anything higher. Ooh,
True.
Excuse me. So let's go to the armament. So we have... Let's see, going back there so I can actually see the armament. So we have a 13mm turret. Two of them, apparently. Wait, where's the other one? Oh, so we got one. So we have two rear-facing 13mm turrets. One under the cockpit. One on top in its own rotating. First time you've seen it on a German bomber. You know, like truly seen it. A full 360 rotating turret, like the type of things that we would expect on like an American bomber or a British bomber. And then looks like they stole the tech from the Italians, a twin-mounted 13mm MG turret. This is, if you've flown the P108, that turret either they developed their own technology or it's the same. They may have just taken it from the Italians because, you know, the Germans like stealing technology and not saying that it's somebody else's. They'll just take it and say it's their own. Kappa. So this turret is automated. It's controlled by the person who would be sitting in this dome. And then you have, just for the shits and giggles, a small 7.92 MG81 that the pilot can control because fucking Germany. Really? Why do they still have the obsession of giving the pilot his own MG? I've heard stories that pilots would actually remove that MG. They would literally throw out everything that they thought was too extra to save as much weight as possible so that they could get in and out of a bombing run as fast as they can. Ugh. Okay, enough of that rant. So this is a big boy, technically a 4-engine bomber. Let's check out its modifications. So it can carry, its stock bomb load is 48 50-kilogram bombs, 12 250 kilos, 6 500 kilos, 4 1,000 kilos, and for the first time in the game, a brand new type of bomb for the Germans, the 1,800 kilogram bomb. Let's look at its stats, and probably this is also spoiling something that actually I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm going to be talking about this stat card in the upcoming guide video, how to Potez. RDH Gaming, yeah. This is the spontaneous engines are on fire plane. Thankfully, in War Thunder, we don't have to deal with this shit because War Thunder is the best possible situation game. It's a game, best case scenario game. And quite frankly, I like it that way because it would be kind of annoying if I was flying out my Greif in the middle of battle. I just dropped my bombs, I'm gonna make a turn, and suddenly one of my engines catches on fire for absolutely no fucking reason. I would actually be severely annoyed. Like, think about that. Do you really want your engine just spontaneously catching fire for absolutely no reason at all? I would rather that the engine get set on fire because somebody was fucking firing a 7.5mm machine gun into it. Like, at least there's cause for it, not it just did it on its own. Within the cases of a video game, you know. End rant. So, with that out of the way, if I could get some stuff out of the way on my monitor.
Does Gaijin intend on giving the Abrams and the Challenger better armor?
It's probably dev server right now, if you know what I mean. Like, they're gonna probably adjust the values again.
Yeah.
Or they're going to see how it runs on the server, then they'll change the values. Because it's not like they have the ability to just keep the dev server on and running. I feel like the dev server is like an entirely separate server house that might be shared with like Gaijin's actual servers, like their internal servers. So this is probably the reason why they don't keep this open very often, like all the time, because they don't want people, it's their personal, like, we're doing our work to make the game better on this server. We don't need everybody on it to cause strain, that kind of thing. Okay, besides that, we are moving on to the... Why is this Chinese thing right here? Oh wait, that's just my Type 62. Okay, so moving on to fly run.
Just a heads up. I was looking back through the patch notes. You're gonna have to go over aircraft that have been added.
Yeah, don't worry. We're Oh right, we'll talk about that in just a moment. Like, I want to get through brand new spanking new aircraft. Like the next one we're going to be talking about. I just want to make sure you knew. Yeah, like, don't worry, I have the patch notes read up, so there's going to be some things to talk about. Now you're, pre-hype and everybody's going to be asking me for everything. So now we're looking at the next aircraft in the lineup. From the USSR is this giant Soviet space dildo.
Hey,
Giant
Ooh.
Soviet space dildo. That's right. It's the Law 200. So the US last patch got the F3D Skynight, which is their all-weather interceptor with radar. This is the Soviet answer to that, and it's the first Soviet aircraft we've seen with side-by-side seating. Well, especially in their jets. Very nice looking aircraft. I would fly it out if let's see. You know what? I have the gold to waste. Oh god. Okay, let's see. I don't have the money though. Okay, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the stream. I'm hoping I'm gonna make you all happy. At least try this one out.
I'm pretty sure the Levashkin 200 can hit. Come on.
Let's see. And who has followed at the eye is now following. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really hope I pronounced your name right. Gulag to Gulag for you. I'll take 2. Really? Do I even want to say your name? God damn it. And okay, Fly Round has gone away to dinner for a moment, and so I guess Fly Round has been replaced, you know, very appropriately, as we're now about to go test fly this sucker with Gopnik.
I'm pretty sure you'll talk about it. I won't mention it.
Yep. Yep. So the Lvovchkin 200, again, this was the Soviet Union's attempt at making a all-weather interceptor similar to the F3D Skynight. However, it was not actually adopted into service. Its first flight took place in 1949, so this is actually this was a pre-Korean War jet. So the American, you know, think about this. The Americans if they knew that this thing existed in 49, they would be fucking on all of what will become NATO would be on the edge of their seat, because they didn't know until the Korean War. They didn't really know that the Russians had something like the MiG-15 or, you know, their other aircraft. So this is a twin-engine jet interceptor, and should be used as such for going after very, very large bombers or anything else. So the configuration of this aircraft is that you have one Rolls-Royce Nene engine copy in the front, tilted downwards so that its thrust is going under the aircraft, and then you have a second engine in the rear spitting out, well, out the rear. And of course it is equipped with not one, but two, but 3 NS-37 37mm cannons. So it is expressly to be used as a jet interceptor. Though for some reason I just made a really, really hard U-turn, and I'm wondering if this is a placeholder flight model, because if this thing can maneuver this well at this altitude, I'm going to be actually kind of scared. So,
like, the way you...
Yeah, all I will say is definitely just, you don't even need to click. You don't even need to hold down the trigger. If you have good aim and you know how to conserve your ammo, you could probably just kill, like, put a two round burst. Two burst close range, zooming through a bomber formation, you'll probably destroy one bomber, no problem. So while we're at it, we're going to take a look at the cockpit. I would have looked inside of the cockpit of the 177 if it wasn't a placeholder. So, you know, it's not going to look that great, and then you would look at a bunch of stoned Hanses. But here we can look at this very, very nice twin cockpit for the LA200, and wow, that's a lot of cockpit. So we got Sergey in the other seat. I've heard he's a good friend of Nigel. Apparently, Ivan complains that he's a lot like Nigel. He just sits there and doesn't do anything. Boy, Sergey,
nice,
do something.
He just stays nice. He's nice because he just stays quiet, and it's nice.
Yep. Also, there is no WEP in this jet for obvious reasons. But yeah, there is a lot of shit going on in this cockpit. It's fucking beautiful. Just look at all of those switches. I don't know what any of them say. Gopnik might know, but you know. Gopnik, what do all those switches say? I don't know.
Let me see. Yeah.
Let me just hold it down. Oh well.
Okay. Some of those switches do turn on the radar because there was a little procedure you have to do to turn on the radar for the aircraft.
Oh right, yeah, radar. It's like looking at this cockpit from the top. Holy, it's like a car almost. God, this thing is huge. So yeah, the big old Soviet, this is literally when the Yak-30 wasn't enough of a space dildo. Then you have this thing. It will go to space, and it will conquer everything with its 37mm cannons.
I think the...
Okay, enough fun.
Because, that aircraft would be pretty cancer, in my opinion, if it just happened to be able to turn that well.
Yeah, I think it's a placeholder. I'm imagining that thing being kind of a boom and zoomer. I can't see this thing being that maneuverable. So take the maneuverability you have seen with a grain of salt, because again, this is a dev server. So we don't know exactly how it will be on the main server. They're probably still tweaking the flight model, because that seems a bit weird for such a big plane. Though I could see why it's maneuverable to a point, because it's kind of that, Soviet, swept wing design. And it does have pretty big wings and pretty big flaps to go with those wings. So to be honest, I can kind of see it being maneuverable, but it is a big, heavy plane. So with that out of the way, we're going to move on to the UK, and bam! Hey, this looks familiar. So before we get to the main event for the British, which is a premium aircraft, let's say hello to the brand new model, HD model of the Spitfire Mark V series, which actually, God, if you know what the Spitfires look like right now, the Mark Vs, they are actually the oldest in-game models, some of the oldest in the game. Those models have been around since, I think, Wings of Prey. Ugh. Like, I think I remember playing the Xbox version of Wings of Prey, was, I think, Birds of Steel. Yeah, it was the same exact model as it is currently in War Thunder. So, yeah, it actually doesn't look as ugly anymore, but it's still a pretty ugly looking plane with this giant filter on the bottom. The reason why I got these filters is because it is the tropical variant. It's meant to keep dust and crap out of your engine intake, because sand and dirt and stuff, if it gets inside your engine, you're gonna have issues. However, besides that, they have also added another, probably to complete the evolutionary line of Spitfires more, or make it more complete. They have included the standard non-tropical version of the Spitfire Mark V. So without the giant nasty dust filter on it, hopefully it will perform better. So we have the Mark V-B variant, which has the B wings with the 7.7 machine guns and the wings, plus the 20mm Hispano cannons. And then you have the, what is it called, if I can get to it, the Spitfire Mark V-C the standard version with the four cannons with 480 rounds. So that's, I think that's, what is that, 480 divided by 4, that's like I can't do math in my head, so I'm just gonna use this convenient calculator. We're at 120 rounds per gun. Yeah, so pretty good load. But of course, the Mark V isn't the best of the Spitfires because it's, being weighed heavily down by a whole bunch of extra things. That's why you have the Mark IXs. But of course, for the trade-off in performance, you get massive hitting power with 420mm Hispano cannons. And I'm going to be honest, the one thing I will say ever since they implemented that netcode fix, stock British rounds aren't as bad as they used to be. They're actually a lot better now. So with that, before I move on, so Oh, good. Another thing that's faster than my Saber. Well, you still have your maneuverability. And it's also, you know, it's Russian 37mm cannons. If you're far away enough and he doesn't know how to lead, he's not going to hit you. Though, of course, there's 3 of them coming at you, so there's that. So why didn't you check if the HE-177 had a cockpit? It does have a cockpit, but it's... I think I just mentioned it just now.
Yeah, it's a placeholder.
It's a placeholder. It's not that pretty. You're just going to be looking at a lot of low-res textures, in-place like dials, and a whole bunch of stoned Hanses. Like, seriously, the crew member Germans look stoned as fuck. They all had marijuana.
No, speaking of the textures...
Yeah, speaking of...
Nice now with all these graphic updates.
Yeah, we will talk about the Dagor engine a little bit later, Gop. So now we're going to move on to the main event for the British. I was actually completely surprised that this was coming this patch. Of all patches, this was going to be coming. The Martin Baker Model 5, or MB5. If it was actually adopted by the British, it would have probably gotten some snarky name, if you know what I mean. Something British, because like the British likes, I don't know, they would have the Air Ministry would have, what did you call it? Heat loss?
Spinfire. Let's call it that. He's got 2 props and they're going.
Shut up.
Heat loss.
You are fucking terrible, ladies and gentlemen. Heat loss. Oh boy. So the Martin Baker 5, let's talk about this one. So Martin Baker 5 was a experimental prototype fighter built by the Martin Baker Company, who is actually more well known for their ejector seats than they are aircraft, but they did try to make a fighter aircraft, which this one is powered by the what is it? This one was powered by a Rolls-Royce Griffin 83 V12, producing over 2,300 horsepower, driving three-bladed contra-rotating propellers. So, and as stated, I quote from test pilot Captain Eric Brown from 1948, "In my opinion, this is an outstanding aircraft, particularly when regarded in the light of the fact that it made its maiden flight as early as May 1944. So, the aircraft made its maiden flight during the war. However, it came too late to actually see any service or even production, as only one was ever built. In real life, however, a little bit later, a partial replica was being built. I don't know what happened to it. I think it may have gotten finished. There was a partial replica being built by a man named John Marlin in Reno, Nevada, using the wings from a P-51 Mustang. And as of 2010, the last time there was an update on it, there was pictures showing the aircraft doing a taxiing run, and it said it was doing near completion. However, we don't know what happened to the aircraft. As of right now, I'll probably look into that maybe a little later. But for now, we have this beautiful little aircraft. It's really squat. Look at this thing. It's tiny for a fighter. Really short wings. You know, with this giant, massive inline engine in the front. Like, if you look at Nigel relative to the rest of the aircraft, this is pretty small. This is a pretty small aircraft compared to what you might think of it as being. So let's look in the cockpit. So we've got, let's see, we have no armor whatsoever, like no rear armor, though trade off with no armor, you have excellent all-around visibility, which is very important if you're the type of pilot who can get into combat and not get hit. You know, last thing you want is to have Nigel get Mark nutted by something. So the big thing about this aircraft, essentially, this is a premium that's only available as a bundle, which you can pre-order right now. You get some extra decals and titles to go along with it. So this is something I can kind of see Britain kind of needed a, you know, good high-tier fighter aircraft bundle. You know, something to compete with like the P-47M, which, you know, one of the best. If you want to get a good premium aircraft for the US, P-47M, you can't go wrong with that thing. That thing is an amazing aircraft into its own right. Now the British appear to have their own kind of outright superior fighter though, in a sense, it's kind of suckish because if you want a great ground pounder, you get the Wyvern, but if you want a great fighter, you grab this thing. So far, it feels really nice. Nice roll rate. And it is equipped with 4 20mm Hispano Mark II cannons. I think with 480 rounds? No, 800 rounds. Oh boy. And oh Jesus Christ, that spread. Did I not have the conversion set before I go in here? I must be retarded.
Probably.
Not surprising.
No, not.
Yep. Yep. So the Heinkel 177 cockpit, that's not really a great thing. And also, I want to welcome all the extra viewers who are watching now who just came in. So Dirt Tank, Pew Pew Dino is screaming French bias, baguette bias. Okay. So MB5 is capable of hitting 426 miles per hour at around 7,000 meters. Has a pretty good climb rate. A climb rate, I don't know if that's stock, but its climb rate's seemingly comparable to an American aircraft, but it probably is a lot better once you purchase the thing. It's not, I would say this is more akin to, essentially, it seems like this is more like a British P-51H than a, you know, super overpowered Spitfire. So you would want to focus more on, this would probably be Britain's first true energy fighter. Like an aircraft that has a lot of horsepower and a lot of, just basically it's able to get up, down, you know, looping all around. It is one hell of a magnificent flying machine. I can't believe I strung that in here.
10 out of 10 would do
Yep.
again.
Yep. So with that out of the way, we are moving on to Japan. And I was actually shocked. I didn't even know this aircraft existed, but we now have, the Japanese are getting an aircraft dispatch. Surprise, surprise. And it is the KI-108. So the KI-108 is the final evolution of the KI-100 series of twin-engine twin-engine heavy fighters. And this is the high-altitude bomber interceptor variant, equipped with one Ho 203 cannon with 25 rounds of ammo and two 20mm Ho 5 cannons with 400 rounds total, so 200 rounds apiece per gun. Has all these fuel tanks, which are apparently self-sealing, so okay, so you don't have to worry about being on fire from a fuel fire, but you know, knowing Japanese aircraft, they'll just burn to death anyway. We are equipped with two 1,000 horsepower engines apiece, Nakajima Ha 1112s in here. So, and then you got poor Tetsuo in the cockpit. So we're gonna give this sucker a test fly. So the KI-108, as I understand it, it was Japan's, one of Japan's last attempts at trying to produce a proper heavy fighter. It's a derivative of the KI-102 that we have already in the game. It has a longer fuselage, expanded. It's actually a derivative. It's the high altitude derivative of the KI-102. What is it? KI-102 series. KI-102A type Co. And type high. It's actually it is a high altitude version of the KI-102 type high, or 102C. So let's get this guy flying out. Whew. Those two big turbochargers out in the wings. Let's check out the cockpit. It's a bit claustrophobic, I will say that. All things considered. Get this guy off the ground here. So, oh boy, for sim pilots, this is the daunting prospect for a sim pilot. So it is a pressurized cockpit. I would imagine the Japanese aren't very good at making, I guess, pressurized cockpits. So this is very, very claustrophobic. This is like IL-2 levels of claustrophobic in here. Ugh.
It's okay.
Good thing I don't
have armor.
Yeah, IL-2 has armor at least. This thing is a pressurized bubble. If this thing pops, I think the pilot's going to die. So, oh boy. So this is the KI-1. The KI, honestly, what I think of the KI-102, the KI-100 series, it's kind of what Hitler wanted for his destroyers. You know, fast, hard-hitting, you know, maneuverable, the type of thing he wanted. Except German designers were apparently incompetent, and the Japanese didn't like sharing shit. You know, the Japanese don't share. They like taking, but they don't share. Oh boy. So, pursuing on to target. Let's get a sound of that cannon here. Punk. Oh, no explosion. So, let's see. Punk. Punk. Oh! Oopsie. Mom, I broke the... Oh, never mind. Thank God they added that. We, like, ignore the smoke cloud back there. That didn't happen. We were still taking off. Fist of the North Star memes. I'll keep that in mind. Actually, there will be. I have something planned for the next Japanese video. Don't you worry. And no, it won't be a bloody zero.
Oh. So that was expecting.
It'll be something better!
What's better than a zero?
Shut up. Don't say anything. Don't spoil it, Gob.
A 1.
I don't even know what you're talking about. This is something you haven't told me. Oh, wait. No,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
No spoilers.
What did I miss?
Oh my God, the Abrams is too fast.
Bizarre adventures. Very bizarre adventures. So the KI-108 is basically, that thing is gonna go flying around and derping people in, you know, classic Japanese fashion. And of course...
So here's a question.
Yep.
Did they decide to do spawn cameras by throwing a bunch of high-tier tanks in the back of the spawn AIs?
I don't know.
This just a dev server.
Can we get the... Slime Dude 29. Oh, excuse me. Jesus Christ. This is what happens when you have Taco Bell for dinner. You're gonna keep burping all the time. Can we get a P47N15 review? I just got it. I'm going to be, once I get the Potez video out, which will be this week, the next guide video, if you guys don't follow on my Discord and stuff, if you guys, one thing I will say in time for that shameless Discord plug, if you guys want to actually keep up with me on a daily basis, join my Discord. It's linked on my YouTube channel, and just as a warning, you won't see anything when you join. You just have to read the rules and copy paste the phrase into the front desk chat, and any of my lovely moderators who are in here with me, streaming with me right now, will be more than happy to help you join the server.
I am literally there, like,
24/7.
Russian
customer support.
So it's okay.
Just to answer this question real quick, just take the P40. If you take
What's the song name?
Stick a better engine in it, chop it better, and you got.
Well.
Yep.
It's a little bit better.
Wings, you get more lift. It's better at low altitude, better at high altitude, better at everything.
It's just a better P47.
Yeah.
So
I love the
now
thing.
then moving on to the Italians, ladies and gentlemen. So the Italians are getting some new aircraft, and well, the only new aircraft they're getting seemingly is the first of what will become the Regane series of aircraft, which right now is conspicuously empty except for this one, the Regane 2000 Series 1, which where have we seen this aircraft before? This looks very, very familiar. I don't know. It kind of looks like, is it even on the server? Like, fuck's sake, Gaijin, why you no update the dev server? Why the fuck do I not have my P43 Lancer in here, you bastards? Curse you! Okay, enough fish shaking. This is the first of the Regane series of aircraft, and if I remember correctly, the Italians tend to name their aircraft after the designers, just like the Russians do. That That's not the Wikipedia article I wanted. Friggin'. I should have put a period, not a... Yeah, I'm retarded. I put something, not a period. So the Regane 2000 is built by the Regane company. So its actual designer is Roberto Longhi. Its first flight was in 24th of May 1939, and it was introduced into combat in 1940. It retired out of service in July 1945 with Sweden. Why Sweden? The Swiss. Why did the Swedes get everything? Fucking Swedes. So
It's Sweden. What do you expect?
The Regane was the first of, I guess, improved aircraft that they wanted, that the Italian Air Force wanted, and this guy is essentially the beginning of what will end up becoming some very, very nice aircraft, especially, Gaijin, where the hell is my Regane 2005? I want to make fucking Spitfires cry. Speaking of which, so that I could just get that thing out of the way, the Italians got a premium Spitfire Mark 5B Trop that you can purchase for 1,300 Golden Eagles. Whoop-de-fucking do. At least it's not a Mark 9.
If it's a Mark 9, I would cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, I would be crying right now if it was a Mark 9. Like, why? Why would you give them that? So, let's take a look at this guy. So, it is the first, according to Wikipedia, the Regane 2000 was the first aircraft to be designed by Regane to employ a stressed aluminum skin construction, which, unlike their contemporaries, were still using mixed wood and metal structures for aircraft, like the SM-79, even like the Breda 88, the twin-engine attacker. So this thing looks a lot, honestly, this thing looks a lot less like the P-43. This looks like more like an early, like mid-30s Sovetski, not Republic, but Sovetski aircraft. Like the type of aircraft that were making record-breaking flights every single time they went into the air. You know, we talk about, what is it, Amelia Earhart, but then we forget about, you know, Jackie Contrin. You know, she broke speed records. She was the first woman to fly supersonic. You know, people forget about her. Go look her up. She's more interesting than Amelia Earhart, by all means, because she actually did stuff in her life and, you know, disappear in the fucking Pacific. No offense. So... Ooh. Nice little fighter here. You know, historical rants are funny. So, nice little fighter here. Apparently, Giuseppe has some Turon on his leg. You know, Italian nougat candy. Apparently, he just wants a snack while flying. And this aircraft is equipped with twin 50 caliber machine guns firing through the nose. And this is a pretty sweet flying little plane. I gotta say that. It's a pretty sweet flying little plane. Looks really nice. Pretty good visibility that you can't see directly behind you, but you can see above you. And you can actually look down quite a bit because the wings aren't too far forward. So for sim pilots, this is a pretty good setup. And of course you don't have wet. And this thing is overheating quite a bit. It's probably because it's stock. No, I'm running in reference mode, so okay, that's not good. It's overheating like a bitch right now. Jesus. Though, I don't know if that's the actual flight model or not, so take the performance that you see with any aircraft right now on the dev server with a grain of salt. And
I will be back.
Yep. 50 cal on first tier. Yep. The Italians are, honestly, if any nation I will recommend to start out with, it's the Italians. Because they have, you know, aircraft that are, they're not the best at everything, but they're very balanced in the sense of, like, flight performance. It's very good all around. They don't excel in anything particularly well. Unlike the other nations where they have this one thing that they do really well. Like the Germans are very good at boom and zoom energy fighting. Same thing with the Americans. The Russians and the British are known more so for their maneuverability, but they can't handle themselves at higher speeds, unlike the Germans and or the Americans. And the Italians are just kind of all around. They have aircraft that are pretty strong, even in high-speed dives. Pretty good maneuverability, though. I think I've talked about it in the G55 video. They can't hold out in an extended dogfight like a Zero or a Spitfire can. But of course, they're pretty heavily armed from the get-go, especially like with 50 caliber machine guns. And thanks to the rework a couple patches ago when the Italians were introduced, the Breda, the Safat machine guns, they're actually pretty good at destroying enemy aircraft. Mario bias, says Pew Pew Dino. Okay, so with Italy out of the way, let us go to France. Le Français. Oh, whoops.
Can I toss a quick note here?
Yep.
Completely unrelated. If you're on the dev server right now, the spawns. It seems like at higher tiers, there's just Panthers sitting in spawns, sniping.
Interesting. So
AI.
That's interesting. So let me quickly blast through purchasing a whole bunch of this shit because, you know, the dev server doesn't like updating itself to everything. Make sure, just so I could get to this aircraft here, which is probably, hopefully, maybe next patch, we'll see a certain other Martin aircraft company aircraft that, you know, that should totally have been in the game already, but, you know, people neglect it. They're still neglecting it. Gaijin B26 near. Finally, Viva la France, lots and lots of baguettes. Okay. Where are they getting baguette emotes? Or where are these baguette emotes coming from? Is that an actual thing on YouTube? I'm amazed. I'm actually amazed. Okay, so
can you explain this?
Gop, he said you will be back, like the Terminator.
Oh.
I'll be back.
The Russian Terminator. And so the Martin 167A3, well, as it was known in French service, this is actually known more, I guess, from the British point of view. This is actually known as the Martin Maryland. It was originally it was designed and built by the Martin Company as their Model 167. So that's, I guess, where 167A3 comes from. It was given the designation XA-22. And, however, the aircraft, it was a good aircraft. However, it lost out to the Douglas DB7, otherwise known as the A-20 Havoc, or the Boston Bomber, or whatever other names that they gave the aircraft, because Jesus Christ, the DB7 has a lot of names with all the different air forces it served. So this was Martin's version of that particular light bomber requirement. So, and it's honestly, if it were in U.S. service, it would probably be a lot better if it was, you know, given a chance to be improved. But for the French, this is another aircraft that did not actually serve with the U.S., but served widely with other nations, and who Jordan the Aussie is now following. Oh, Crazy Monkey, where the hell have you been? What's up? What's up, man? Been a while. Okay, and back to it. So this is another French light bomber, and I would assume that the British are going to get their own because this camouflage looks very suspiciously British. Like, if you look at the colors, this does not look French. This looks very, very British. The, you know, brown-green camo that the British like using. I don't know why. It just doesn't look like the French patterning that we know on their other bombers. So let's give this guy a test flight. Bryce 1, are you streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time? Yes, I am. I'm using Restream.io, but if you want better quality and maybe not as much of a delay, go check it out on Twitch and follow me there so I can make my way toward becoming a Twitch affiliate. I still got kind of a ways to go as it is. So I would appreciate all the follows up here on Twitch. And if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, definitely subscribe to me on YouTube. Shameless plug there. So now we're flying out the Martin Baker 167. Wow, my memory is terrible today. Jesus. 167, yeah. So flying this guy out here. Let's see if we get a cockpit view here. Placeholder cockpit is literally a steering wheel. It doesn't do anything because it's a placeholder. So, little light bomber here. I have bombs in the bomb bay. Don't know what they are. They're probably something French. Probably, I would say they're 100 kilogram general purpose stones. Bombs, stones, you know what I mean. So, those don't look French. Those look suspiciously... Those look suspiciously British. So, have the 4 bombs in the bomb bay. So it's basically a low-tier bomber, though I would imagine this being a very good aircraft to use with combined forces battles at lower tiers, because it is, you know, it's a small light bomber. If you have it set up so you can open up your bomb bay and do a series drop at the same time so that you can just strafe over. Okay, I keep forgetting the set convergence. Damn it. So, yeah, this thing maneuvers pretty well for a twin engine fighter. So it's a lot like the DB or like the Havocs, though I feel like it's a little bit more responsive on the controls. It feels sleeker, if anything, just because, you know, it's that not as boxy shape that the Douglas Havoc and then the A-26 Invaders had later on. Also, you do have forward-facing offensive armament in the form of 4 7.5 machine guns in the wings, so you can absolutely go around, do some pseudo bomber hunting, or, you know, just go find a bomber and poke it to death with your 7.5s, or pilot snipe it, because lol. Sniping. But yeah, this is a pretty good low-tier aircraft, and, you know, hopefully we'll see more from the Martin Company later. Well, not Martin Baker, the U.S. Martin Company. We're in the... Seriously, where's my B-26? Give me my B-26, Gaijin, please. So, Martin Baker, check. And there are a couple of other aircraft as well. Actually, I'm surprised this didn't come in when the French first came in. The French have a Yak 3 for a premium. Costs 1,600 of your golden pigeons. And it's surprising that they didn't get the Yak 3 as the event aircraft, though I could imagine there would be a hell of a lot of uproar at that time. I can see why they didn't give them the Yak 3 as the rare, because, you know, players would be pissed that the French have gotten basically one of the best World War II fighters out there, up there with the Mustang and the Spitfire. The Yak 3 is amazing in its own right because it uses the same engine as the Yak 9, as the earlier Yak 9s, except it's a smaller airframe overall, so it's maneuverable, and it's in the hands of the capable Normandy Niemen squadron that flew with the Russians, and they were actually allowed by the Russians as a gesture of friendship to take these aircraft home, and they served with the French Air Force for some time before being retired. And of course, being retired, they were retired and replaced with one of the new aircraft following the ground attack MD, the Barogen MD-450B. We have the MD-452-2C, the Mystérière. This is the Mystérière 2C pre-production at 9.0. It's capable of 638 miles per hour at sea level, and is this the first aircraft that, or first single engine fighter with the DIFAs, if I'm right? Because you now have twin 30mm DIFA cannons on board on this aircraft, a lot of fuel tanks in the wing, so that's going to be pretty interesting. It's probably be something different from the, what is this? So, you have the MD-452. Mysterier 2A, which only has the 20mm M50s, but this thing has the twin DIFAs, but you only get 150 rounds per gun, so use your DIFAs wisely, gentlemen. So with that, I think that's all of the aircraft that's in this patch, and well, hopefully a little bit later this week, you'll be seeing a guide video on the attacker version of this plane. So planes out of the way, because you know I'm very much the plane person. Let me go through a quick gander of the brand new high tier tanks, which are the focus of this patch, Advancing Storm. Though I would absolutely, if you really want to go tank nuts up in here, you would probably want to jump over to Miles' stream after I get done. I don't intend to stream for very long because I got some other stuff to do. Whew. So
I have returned.
Yep. Hello, Gop. You are back. So first thing to look at, we were looking at this at the beginning of the stream. It's the Magok 3. So the history of the Magok 3 is that it's essentially the Magok series of tanks were M48 and M60 patents that were purposely modified by the Israelis for their use. Contrary to popular belief, Magok is not an abbreviation, but a Hebrew word meaning ramming hit. However, the word is rarely used and is not known to many Hebrew speakers. Several popular explanations of the name exist. It was short for an acronym, Merkivit Gilbori Halil. Jesus Christ, my Hebrew is terrible. Now I know how Othias feels when he has to try to pronounce foreign words. Literally, Chariot of War Heroes. Others state that it's the real source of the name is the designation M48A3, which is something else. Like the above, another thing is it was supposedly maybe the G, like some explanation. There were a lot of weird nicknames. Actually, a better one, a once popular macabre joke in the IDF, that Magok stands for Movil Givoyet Charkot, Charred Bodies Carrier. Hooey. Okay, I thought grave for I thought coffin for Seven Brothers was bad with the Russian usage of the M3 Lee grave tanks, but okay, that's a bit worse. And by the way, referring to Charred Bodies Carrier, that's because during the Yom Kippur War, there was issues with the hydraulic fluid catching on fire in the M48s. Ugh.
Really?
Yep. So and other variants of the nickname it could have come from include Meshupa Gahon, one with sloping belly. Okay. Oh, okay, I can see that. And Mekhoncha Giluit. Why am I even trying this? Electric shaving machine. I'm not taking that. Wikipedia, you're fucking drunk. Fuck you. So basically this is your Wikipedia? Yeah, first issue is Wikipedia, but so of course I encourage all of you to do your own research on these vehicles and actually besides Wikipedia go look up stuff, because there might be, if I'm just telling you what it is, I'm being the televised historian just telling you about the vehicle in real life. So the Magok 3 is the new tier 5 bundle pack for the Americans, which is it's a M48 tank without the obnoxious cupola, without the M48's obvious disadvantages, the large obnoxious cupola and 90mm gun. The Israelis looked at that, said, fuck this shit, let's get rid of that obnoxious cupola, let's put a self-defense machine gun there, and let's upgun it to a 105mm cannon, and it does fire saber round stock. Damn right.
The saber, well, it has saber,
So
it
they were
has
smarter than America.
has heat FS and has smoke. Heat FS is solid. I would recommend taking more APDS. That's what I've had more luck with in my so far.
Yep. And now for the main event, of course, the M1 Abrams. Suddenly Sabaton's Panzer Battalion starts playing out in the fucking distance. Cannot outrun our Panzer Battalion. So the M1 Abrams, the America follow up to the MBT-70 after that fell out with the anybody else notice that the camera kind of zooms in when you go 360s now? It doesn't stay constant even when you zoom out. That's kind of like it goes all the way out and it comes back in. Epilepsy warning here. Just flail the mouse like okay. Back to, so after the MBT-70 project fell through, the Americans were kind of left with what do we do now? And they started looking to new tanks. They actually were shipped over by the Germans, Leopard 2 prototypes. And, well, after getting the funding, after shutting down the MBT-70 project, they began looking into a new tank. What ended up coming out was the winner of the Chrysler-produced prototype that ended up becoming the M1 Abrams. And this is probably not only one of the first, it's the first tank in the game that has a straight up it doesn't even have the name on it, but it's the first tank in the game that's powered by a fucking turbine engine, not your standard piston engines, like most every other plebeian tank around here. Though, while that it made the tank very quiet, it was, even today, most nations or a lot of people criticize the fact that the Abrams just consumes fuel like a motherfucker. And it's kind of difficult to hide behind an Abrams when its engines is running because it's kind of just really, really warm. However, it made the tank very quiet moving around. So that's a plus when you want to just surprise motherfucker somebody. And so looking at armor here, this armor plates look fucking useless. Like, how is this like the most advanced battle tank? That's right. It has composite armor, the Choblem armor, and it's described by the dev blog. If you guys read it, the fuel tank. Not only is there armor on the lower plate, it has a ridiculously heavily sloped upper plate. This is going to make it extremely difficult to get a straight up hit on the vehicle, but also the fuel tanks are armored, unlike the Soviet tanks. So it's not literally fuel tank is armored. The fuel tank is armor and is armored. So hopefully you'll be able to stop a lot of heat rounds. Composite armor is capable of stopping on the lower plate. It's capable of stopping 380 millimeters of kinetic energy munitions and 650 millimeters of chemical energy weapons like heat rounds and stuff. Same thing on the turret, all around the turret, and noticeably there is no composite whatsoever covering the side armor. There's a lot of rolled homogeneous armor keeping the ammo separated from everything. So I don't know if Miles has tested it yet on his stream, but theoretically it does work. Fly.
To work.
The only thing is, for it to work effectively, you don't want to load any heat or hash. You want to load APFSDS because it doesn't have an explosive charge, explosive head. And I tested this out for 6 or 7 times. When you get hit in the ammo and it blows out, you get this stream of fire that shoots straight up. It catches your tank on fire. You lose almost all your. Sometimes you lose only some
of it. Sometimes you lose all of it. Yeah, so so basically what we're describing here, if you guys don't know, Toastable Pie, heating problems were fixed and the fuel consumption is it's bad it's made to be. I guess it's when they started out, they were kind of annoyed with the fuel consumption compared to like a standard diesel engine and an M60, but it's politics. People have to come up with something to bitch about. Bureaucrats there are some politicians who have actually served in our military, so they understand what it inherently means to wield a weapon. But then there are, most of them don't, and they don't necessarily understand the intricacies of the military or otherwise.
So I'm actually going to post
But
a link to the
enough about
blow
that.
up panels in action in the chat.
Yep.
So if anybody's interested.
Yeah, so essentially getting to the point. So essentially if you get hit in the ammo rack, you actually have a much higher chance of surviving an ammo rack explosion in an Abrams because the turret the tank is designed to actually blow out has blowout panels designed to basically have the ammunition explode outward and not inward into the tank, so that you don't instantly die from an ammo rack, so you'll be able to survive and continue fighting. Or at least in real life, it would allow the crew members to safely hide inside the tank until everything has, settled down outside, and then be able to move on their own power back to base, or be able to just get towed back and the tank can be repaired.
Only thing though, it's not like real life where you can just let it burn out. You actually do have to use FP to put out the fire in it.
Yeah.
So if panels get blown out, you still have to put it out manually.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would imagine that if you go back to a cap zone, once you'll be able to repair and then get more ammo. I would imagine, but they could have not that. The only downside about the Abrams, besides its magnificent armor and apparent maneuverability, I can't test it on here because as you can clearly see, even on the main tree, I'm still working on the M103. So at least I'm making my way there for the M1 Abrams. Fuck the rest of the M60 line. Which I'm actually surprised that they put it on here. So yeah, the Abrams, but it has good maneuver. I've heard it's pretty damn fast.
It does.
Forward, backwards.
It is.
But I guess the downside of it is that unlike some of the other tanks that are coming in, it still has the standard 105mm gun. But Gaijin has stated that the M1A1 will be coming later. I'm going to give a bet on the midsummer patch for that, at least.
5 gun is actually actually
and
very helpful because.
By the way, if you're trying to get the M1 Abrams, you do have you should as long as you can unlock tier 6, you should be able to skip the T95, go for the MBT-70, which is a good vehicle in its own right, and then go for the Abrams. But enough about America. But the M1 doesn't have the DU. Oh, right.
From what I've tested, is
no, I'm talking about the armor mesh.
True.
Doesn't have the DU mesh.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, there's no. I don't think. Actually, let's look at the ammo quick because before somebody's going to ask and then I'm gonna forget. So let's look at the ammo quick. So you have the M735, which I remember correctly. Let me see. Look at the M735 ammo. I don't remember it being DU. I remember
735, I believe, is tungsten.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at from globalsecurity.org. Or wait, not that site. I remember it was a site that literally listed all of the US 105. I think it's Bullet Picker. Yeah, Bullet Picker. So the M735 is a high velocity flat trajectory discarding sable round. Sub-projectile consists of a steel nickel body which houses a tungsten core and is fitted with an aluminum windshield and fin assembly. So this M735 is tungsten, not DU.
No DU until the M833.
Yeah. And then the higher tier round, the one that you can unlock later, the M774. M774. According to bulletpicker.com, this projectile consists of a sub-projectile and sabot. The sub-projectile consists of a monolithic stable alloy, depleted uranium core, and is fitted with an aluminum windshield and steel tip to eliminate aerodynamic heating, and an aluminum fin assembly. So, well, shit. Well, shit. The M1 Abrams is, once it's fully upgraded, is capable of firing DU ammunition, which at basically point blank range will blast through basically anything.
I don't.
Like a poor fucking technical.
They're not correct because I don't even its best penetration round in the game can't go through a T-64's upper front plate.
Yep.
Well,
So-
Shogun-
Interesting that it's
Shogun
firing.
also isn't right.
Even then, even though it's a DU, depleted uranium core, it's still it's just a really, really hard piece of metal at that point. Very, very, very. Plus, when you get hit, when a tank is hit with a Sabo like that, that crew is not going to survive, especially in a Soviet tank. You know, like most American tankers who fought in the Gulf War recall, you know, shooting up Soviet tanks and then just watching them explode. You know, they would just, there's a lot of footage. Well, of course, it's not the Soviets using them, it's the Iraqis, but the Iraqis were a formidable army anyway. So moving on to the Germans, they get a ground vehicle, obviously, and that is the Leopard 2K. So the Leopard 2K is the first of the Leopard 2s, and this is one of the 17 prototypes that were built. Each one of the prototypes had a different, had different features, different setups and stuff. And this particular prototype is equipped with the first tank so far to be equipped with the now ubiquitous 120mm Rheinmetall L44 cannon. 41 rounds in it, and it also, of course, like the MBT-70, also carries a 20mm anti-fuck everything that actually doesn't have armor gun on the top, including aircraft, and MG3A1 as a coaxial. So, looking at the armor, a pretty well-sloped front plate, though the lower plate is absolutely useless. Very useless by being that you could probably shoot straight through the lower plate if you're, if you encounter a really stupid player who just charges at you. And just shoot the lower plate with, I don't know, an APHE round, and you will probably kill everyone in the tank because they're, that's gonna hurt. You have nothing, no real advanced composite armors there. However, why does it have fuel tanks on the side? Why does it have fuel tanks? That's a really weird place to put fuel tanks on a tank.
It's not just the Leo 2K isn't the only tank with fuel tanks on the side of the tank. The Challenger 1 also has this.
Actually, wait, T-34s do that too. Now that I think of it, and KV,
Yeah,
a lot of Russian tanks do that as well. So the Leo actually has spaced armor, but the spaced armor is not going to really do as much as you would like it to.
Let's put it this way: the Leo 2K and the rest of the Leos, you don't rely on armor. You rely on your speed and your gun.
Yeah,
and stabilizer.
You got a big ass boomstick. A big ass 120mm boomstick. So, just basically run and gun with this thing. This is the tank for those who want mobility and just want to punish everyone on the battlefield. This is not a tank for camping with. So the Rheinmetall stock round, or the only round available for the vehicle, as it appears to be, is the only round it has is the DM13. It doesn't appear to have any form of HESH, or no, it does have a heat run. Apparently that's stock too. So the DM13 is capable at practical range against flat armor, 400mm of penetration at 500. So it's stock. It's essentially seems to have the same kind of penetration capability as an upgraded Abrams. So, and though I'm not the tank person here, I love my tanks, but I love my aircraft more. And then of course you get a heat FS round with 650mm of pen at any distance on flat armor, or as low as 324mm of penetration on a heavily angled surface. So yeah, the Leo 2K I've heard is also, just like any other of the Leopards, it's very maneuverable. I can honestly see this thing being a very, very good vehicle in the hands of a capable player for our ground forces. Well, at least it's not a
Yeah.
mouse. Okay, so moving on to the Soviet Union here.
Yes.
We haven't
yes.
done the Challenger yet.
We'll get to the Challenger.
Dev
in a
servers are
minute.
wrong. That's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah, again, I would
armor?
hope that you got, or a lot of the values are wrong on the armor. And I guess the armor in ammo, oh, Jesus Christ, here it comes with the SSD. Terrible.
So while we're
Okay.
waiting for this,
Yeah, we're moving.
I'm
We're
actually
moving
gonna
on
toss
quick.
something in here.
Yep. So,
Really
Gopnik,
quick,
can
and
you
that
explain
TCP
to me what I'm looking at right now? You know exactly what I'm looking at right now.
Okay, what you're looking at right now is a T-64 that's been heavily modified and carries a gun that is capable of firing ATGMs.
Yep. Say hello
And,
to the T-64B. And apparently,
Anyone knows-
it apparently has raised its flaps.
Yes, it no longer has those stupid, useless flaps. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go on, can someone explain to me what this? Anyone in the chat knows the armor radiation material that is on the roof of the T-64? If you go into the armor viewer,
Armor
there's
viewer.
Armor
and
read.
Oh, you're talking about the turret armor, right? Got.
no, right above the. We'll see material.
Armor rating. I think that may have been just a. I think that's just more of a. Maybe they forgot to name
Typo.
it properly. Typo.
Go.
Or something.
Yeah, I
not
see
the
what you-
X-ray,
I
just-
s-
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
at it
that-
right now.
that-
Armor radiation material. Yeah, I think that's a typo. Gop.
So
I think that's a typo. That
this
seems
is-
weird.
boy.
It should be rolled. It should be rolled homogeneous armor, unless that's additional rolled homogeneous armor for some reason. So, yeah,
well,
let me
there's a
go
couple of
through.
weaknesses.
Let me
The,
go through first the tank though. Let me finish.
All right,
You know, let
sorry.
me- So T-64, it does have their version of spaced armor, which is homogeneous armor of various thicknesses, and textilite, which is a type of fiberglass, if I'm right,
Yes, it's a
like
type of
fiberglass weave.
fiberglass.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the turret has, which is very interesting. It has cast homogeneous armor, ultra porcelain. That's a interesting. So, and more cast homogeneous armor. So improved turret armor overall, and of course a bigger boomstick in the form of the 125mm 2A46 M1 cannon.
Quick thing to mention: this T-64
Anti-radiation material for chemical attacks, says toastable pie. So I guess it's I guess the tank is CBRN capable.
Yep.
Yep. So okay, that's a good enough explanation for me, being the simple-minded pilot.
It also has smoke launchers, so I'm only assuming that it's missing. No.
Oh, that's a lot of smoke launchers.
Yep.
So the T-64, as Gott mentioned earlier, its first available round appears to be a pretty punishing Sabo round that is more than capable. 500 meters can penetrate over 500 meters on a flat surface, 420 millimeters of armor. Holy hell. But of course, it does have the capability of actually firing an anti-tank guided missile, which is of a second generation control system. So you just point and click adventure the fuck out of everything. And the missile is basically a giant heat round, which is it's better than the actual Heat FS round. Though, let's see, 400 meters per second. That's kind of slow. That's really slow.
Yeah, no, hold on. One more thing to also mention: the shells for now. There's a second muzzle velocity, so that number of
Repeat that again, because on my end, because all the audio is going through my end, it's glitching out.
Okay, so the number of on the meters per second on the ATGM might be wrong because the meters per second on the 125 millimeter is only 1,007.
1,700.
I think that's
1,780
about
meters a
right,
second.
though.
Yeah.
I think that's about right for the.
It should no, but here's the thing: it should be just the same because this gun is an upgraded one from the T64A. It should have the same muzzle velocity as the previous model.
We'll it's again, this
We'll
is
have
the
to
dev
see.
server. We'll have to see what they do later. Though I will say
Yes.
okay, there's the log, but there's also the giant the river crossing equipment is also
This giant
Uh,
machine gun. There's also
yep. So this is
all
this
these-
this thing should be, hopefully, I would imagine it would be a bit more maneuverable. Oh, there comes that
Nope.
tone.
it
Dirty Bomb
doesn't.
is now
It's
following. Thank you.
They both have the maneuverability.
Yep. Oh my god. Okay, and another issue I
So-
do have right now. This is why I almost want to have like a backup TeamSpeak for during streaming, or at least a backup place to go to instead of Discord, so that if anytime I'm streaming with people, that the that Discord just seems to have an issue with me streaming because it likes to drop everybody's voices for some reason. So now, after looking at the... Oh, you could just type it out in chat if you must.
Oh.
Yeah. So moving on to the
Type it out
Brits.
again.
What? They folded the chieftains? Thanks, Gaijin.
Yes, they folded the chieftains.
Okay, so well, except for the Chieftain Mark 10. So now moving on to the British, and now the British have their giant, basically a rolling pillbox that is the Challenger. Yep, so Challenger. It's just called Challenger. I think they should just rename it Challenger 1 because it's gonna get people confused, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, they're gonna confuse it for the 5.7 Challenger, which is
Like there's
called
the
A something
5.7,
Challenger.
the A30 Challenger, and then there's just Oh, okay. It's called Tank Combat 120 millimeter Gun Challenger. Britain, what the fuck with your naming conventions? Like, I can understand that,
Abrams is
it's
worse.
Oh, I don't want to know at this point. Okay, so
That's true.
the Chieftain was
don't
the
want me
first
to read
tank
it?
to you. No, don't. Okay, fine. Read it. Waiting. Read
It
it.
is Tank Combat Full Tracked 105 millimeter gun M1.
Okay, it's no better. So the Challenger's armor is, well, actually, is slightly worse, slightly better overall, but it also employs the same spaced armor system as the Chieftain does overall, which is the Choblam armor. As you can see, from what we know it looks like, according to some pictures around the internet from Israeli tanks that had like spaced armor pieces just sitting around exposed to all and sundry. You know, that's probably the best thing we're going to get a view of Choblam armor overall. It's essentially a layer of multiple materials. We still don't know exactly what they are. You know, a lot of people can claim they know. I'm just going off of what I know, and I don't want to make any claims of knowing anything because I'm not a historian or, you know, a researcher by that matter. So you have 400 millimeters against kinetic munitions and 650 against chemical munitions. One of the glaring issues of this tank, unlike the Abrams, which of course, you know, America was smart enough to actually armor both the lower and upper plates, the Challenger does not have a armored lower plate. I think there was a store, and so if a Challenger is just charging at you, just like the Leo 2K, just shoot it in the lower plate, and you'll probably kill the tank instantly. This is literally the tank that sits at somewhere all the way across the map on Kursk, where it gets the best possible view, where it can't get flanked, and when the enemies look at you, they can only see your turret and maybe some of your upper plate, and you just start firing hardened biscuits at everything and making them go boom.
Okay, John, if you rotate the armor view to the left or right, you see those
Yep.
blocks under the turret? That's the fuel tanks.
Yep. Okay, so that's... And they're armored as well, oddly enough.
Yep.
That's interesting. So, shoot the lower half of the plate. Don't shoot the upper half, the lower half. Apparently, the British are counting on the fact that the Soviets can't depress their guns very far down. Okay, so terrible jokes, I know.
Driver optics port is another weak spot.
Yeah, it does not have any sort of
armor.
Armor. Apparently, that's how it's.
Yeah, and something to note, because, you know, in real life combat, Soviet tanks that actually faced the Challengers, they would have never seen who killed them, because, like, this tank holds the record for the longest ranged shot in history, kill shot on an enemy tank. And that was almost out of line of sight, but thanks to the conditions in the desert, the tank crew was actually able to view their target, get range, and fire, and they scored a kill. So essentially, the Challenger is the ultimate evolution of British main battle tanks, and is their new top tier. And it follows right after the Chieftain Mark 10, and you do have to research the previous vehicles. I probably forgot to say the same thing with the Russians, that you do have to research the previous vehicle, or at least research the T-64A unlock, and then the Germans you do have to research through the Leopard line to get to the Leopard 2K. Yep. So
This was 4007
Chob-Am, by the way. Says Dirty Bomb.
And for those who use Imperial units, it's 2.9 miles.
3-mile shot.
Yes.
And Japan, shot. They get fuck all.
No, they don't.
Italy doesn't
get tanks. Because...
Not now, at least. So, okay. So going on to the French now.
Have anything there?
No, the French, first and foremost, the French have received their first tier 5 bundle, and we will take this out for a test drive, because I've actually never personally driven the high tier tanks yet. I'm still working on it. Like everything else in the world.
It's non-stabilized.
Well, that's
still no stabilizer, but don't expect one, because honestly.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. French doctrine, they don't need stabilizers. It's all about doctrine. You know, the British and the Americans practice fire on the move, but the French are, you know, they didn't practice fire on the move. They did something else. But so the first top tier bundle that you can purchase for the French, this is the AMX-30 earlier production. Yeah, that's literally what it's called. The big difference between... The biggest thing is that it doesn't have the 20mm coaxial compared to the other one. And of course, it does fire the super absolutely punishing heat round. The fuck you and your shit heat round. So now you can immediately go to top tiers. I think this is the only nation that is actually legitimately getting their top tier tank as a available bundle. Like, you don't have, it's kind of a little, just a thought, like, so you literally could just play this tank, and this is literally what top tier France is. But then you miss out on the fun that is the Sherman FL-10 or the SA-50 Sherman, and those things are fucking hilarious. Yep. So big tank, big gun is 120 or 100. No, it's 105.
105. The difference between the MX-30, the B2 Brenus.
Yeah, that's
package,
the.
Yeah,
that's the bundle. That's the bundle tank that you can get in the shop, and I think it's on pre-order as well, just like all the other bundles in the game for this upcoming pack. And then now we get to the final tank to look at new in the patch before I talk about more technical stuff that will probably bore the hell out of all of you. We're moving on to the AMX-30 B2 Brenus, which
kind of the...
Which is essentially the ERA. Brenus is an acronym. If I can pull it up here on my other monitor here. What are you fucking Chinese? Says it. Samuel Mason. Keep guessing. I think we had this guessing game last time. I just keep guessing. It's like living. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Samuel Mason. If you didn't curse like a pirate in the chat, maybe you wouldn't get chat banned all the time.
Oof.
Trust. No, I'm saying this from the point of view of that, yes, I've been chat banned a few times. Because I can get really salty. And it's that rare occurrence I get chat banned for something I did 2 weeks ago or a month ago. ATI Dud says hello and gives me, go forth and prosper. I'm not a Trekkie, I'm sorry. But I do know that Star Trek. So the monetization package, if I'm right, I'm looking for what it was at default. It's an acronym. Reactive armor package. It was no.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but should I clarify the ammo storage thing that's been popping up for different people on the tanks?
Do you have autism?
Should I go?
Do I have to ban you for my chat? For the first and foremost, no, I don't, but I do have ADHD. So essentially, the AMX. I'll talk about it in just a moment. So the AMX 30 Bren is equipped with ERA armor, and ERA is mainly more to protect against heat rounds than actual kinetic energy rounds. So if you see this thing rolling around, just shoot it with APDS FS round. Don't bother with a heat round. You're not going to get a hit on the first try. At least a instant kill shot on the first try. So just stick with your APDS FS for this. So essentially, it does have an improved drive. I think a higher horsepower engine to compensate for the extra weight overall, and I think it does fire it actually does get a giant dart, the OFL 105 F1, which is slightly worse than the other 105 millimeter shells, the Sabo rounds, but it's better than it's about as good. It's slightly worse than their heat round, all things considered, and it also gets a smoke shell. Do you know if HE will knock off? Do you know if the shell will knock HE? If I'm right, even in the current patch with tanks that have ERA, like the M60A1, M60A1 Rise, if I'm right, if you do hit it with high explosive rounds, it will detonate the ERA. It will actually wipe out more of the ERA than a heat round does.
As it should.
Yeah. So, if you're firing at that tank, if you just want to remove its ERA and help your fellow teammate who probably has a dart loaded to deal with it, yeah. Nicktoon is asking about the T-64B. It's all dependent on your play style. If you're the type of person who likes the Soviet tanks overall, once you get into their higher tiers, you have to go from doing a very mobile style warfare, like with T-34s. Once you get to the T-44, you start to notice a massive slowdown in speed, like compared to
T-44.
No, the T-44 is pretty quick.
Good.
Yeah, I think I'm still stuck with a stock T-54. But once you get to the higher tiers, you don't necessarily want to Soviet tanks do rely on their armor. They're designed to rely on their armor a lot more than the
You don't
West
exactly
does.
want to roll around the corner. You want to roll around the corner in a T-64A. You really don't want to.
You want to be supporting your team, essentially.
Yeah, basically, because the armor on most Soviet tanks isn't enough to hold up against other tank shells.
Yep. like mobility is everything, but if you can, mobility can mean a lot, but if you can set yourself up in a good position on a map, you should, where you have a lot of tanks coming toward you or showing their flanks, you should be fine. It's all about playstyle, and especially in a game like this, so unlike real life, we don't usually see people going directly for like weak points and stuff. And now that Soviet tanks will be facing Allied tanks in a way that, you know, military planners had, you know, envisioned and or worried for the past, you know, 50 years, though, that, or, you know, for the past, ever since the end of the Korean War. Though, of course, thankfully never came to fruition in their minds.
Should
at least.
A quick thing that you went ahead and missed: the T64B does not have the ESS system that is on the T64A. Instead, it just gets smoke shelled.
Oh. And also, there are pictures known about an ERA package for the T64. I don't know, is it the T64A gets the ERA or the T64B?
I think it's
the
B, 'cause it's the
T64B
BB.
because after the T64B, it would be logical for the T64BV to come next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that got the notification.
Yeah, we don't know where the BV is, by the way. It's
Yeah, no
not here.
idea.
It got sent to Gulag.
Yet.
Maybe it become future field modification for the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to research a whole nother tank that is
actually-
essentially the same.
Yep.
Logically,
So-
it would become another tank, kind of like the M60 Rise.
True.
Yep.
Never mind.
So now that
Well,
we've
who knows?
talked about all the vehicles coming in the game, so right around 20 vehicles. So let me read off the rest of the update, the dev server update. So for naval, because I can't look at it obviously here in the game, but for the future naval that's incoming, so we got a lot of new vehicles coming for naval at least. So we got for the US, let me actually see if I can switch let me see if I could switch it to, yeah, here we go. So now, putting away War Thunder for just a moment, and I'll just hit F11 here so we go full screen. And let's see if I can. Okay, there we go. Zoom in a little. Oh, there we go. So zooming in, looking at the list here for naval fleets. The U.S. is getting their PT-6, so a lot of more motor torpedo boats. PTF-7, motor gunboat. We're getting sub chasers, LCS-L3, a landing craft support, fast attack craft, the Asheville, the Fletcher obviously, and another destroyer, Cowell. Let's go look that up, I guess. Utilizing the gloriousness that is Wikipedia, will you go look up USS Cowell? Renamed Ward. Let's see. Is it a Wykes class? Oh, so USS Cowell was launched in 1943. It is another Fletcher class destroyer, and it served with the U.S. until 1971. It went to Argentina and was renamed the Almirante Storni, and then it was scrapped in 1982. So, and USS Cowell served in the Central Pacific and in the Battle of Okinawa. Don't know what necessarily is different. We'll probably won't know what's different about the Cowell versus the Fletcher until we actually get full naval beta. So going on. So there's a lot of interesting stuff in this list like that we might get. So let's look up Asheville fast attack craft. That's interesting. So if Asheville class gunboat. So looking it up as we wait here. So the Asheville class gunboats were a class of small military ships for the U.S. built in response to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Damn. So these were designed for Caribbean patrols, but these ships were also deployed to Southeast Asia, proved successful in their coastal work intercepting small boats attempting to transport arms along the Vietnam coast. So these ships served in Vietnam and apparently were equipped with the U.S. Navy 3-inch guns, 50 rounds a minute. Jeez. 4 50 caliber machine guns and a single Bofors 40mm 70 Mark 10. And some units, some of the ships had their 40mm guns replaced with various missile configurations. And if you guys are actually up to date and following a lot of the stuff like that's being data mined, especially like by Mike 10D and a lot of people, there have been there has been a lot of data regarding the appearance of certain types of air to ground and I guess ground to air missiles, or that could be available on ships and or aircraft, like I guess like the German anti-shipping missiles and stuff here. So moving on and away from that, so going to Germany, we have their ships here, minesweepers, oddly enough, so that's new. So actually my question is that will we actually be able to remove mines from, will there be mines and stuff, or what will these ships actually be equipped with? So according to his 37mm cannon, 2 20mm cannons, and various 7.92 machine guns, mines, and depth charges. So if we're looking at that, so we have R41, so 125-ton ship with a length of 37.8 inches. Then R130 is 150 tons, even longer. And then R301 minesweeper was equipped with 2 torpedo tubes as well. So that's going to be interesting. We got the SF-40. I'm not even going to try to pronounce German here. Let's specify that we are looking for a fucking ship, if Google will cooperate. Well, I can't find pictures. At least the pictures I want. And lest I type in, go into Google Images and see something on this that we don't want to see, and then the stream gets taken down. So I'm assuming light flak ferry, heavy flak ferry. I think these are basically flak boats. So basically don't be flying over a German fleet if one of these are flying around. You're probably going to get murdered horribly by AA. AFD1 gunboat. So I guess oh, I think we've seen these before way early in the very early on in the naval testing. They had the German just basically this giant boat that had like an 88mm cannon and essentially was just really hard to fucking kill. So they're flak boats. They have their motor torpedo boats, the S100 series. One of them is a premium. Oh, wow. VS-10 motor torpedo boat hydrofoil. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hydrofoils. That's going to be interesting. So if we can not look at bicycles. Okay. Oh, there's a Navypedia. So interesting. So the VS-10 motor torpedo boat was built in 1944, but it was ordered. It was built but of course the Allies in their infinite wisdom destroyed it in 44 while it was still under construction. However, Gaijin has stated somewhere in one of their Q&As that they are open to introducing boats that were completely planned out, and by that I mean they were complete blueprints, not like World of Tanks where it's just like paper tanks, like, you know, you see a concept drawing or something, it's like, let's put that in the game. No, they're Gaijin's being very specific with boats and ships, that they're looking for any ships or, you know, small craft that had complete blueprints and plans designed, were ordered, and either were partially built and scrapped, or in this case, for this German motor torpedo boat, was blown to Kingdom Come, unfortunately. So that's going to be very interesting. And a question from... ship gameplay, it's good, but there's a lot of optimization issues they still need to address, as in the kind of optimization issues that actually caused one of my live streams to shit itself, and I had to stop the stream and then stop streaming ships because of it. Oh boy. So continuing on through. So the Jaguar motor torpedo boat, I think that's already in the game. So they're getting a lot of interesting stuff, and they are getting the Z-20 Karl Glaster destroyer. Okay, so... oh boy. So, German destroyer Z-20 Karl Glaster. So, here is a drawing of the Karl Glaster. And so, well, okay, I wanted to look at the Wikipedia article. Wikipedia, please. So, it's a Type 36 class destroyer built for the Kriegsmarine. It survived World War II and was handed over to the Soviet Union, where it was renamed Prochny. Oh god. Gopnik, I'm so sorry. So, another destroyer. Now moving on through the
I've been
updates.
quiet.
Yep.
Well, actually, we're small issue.
Yes.
We can't hear John.
Yeah, I think there's something going on. John.
Yeah, I think that's what I
Can't
mean.
hear you.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Well, I can tell you the blow-up panel is working the Abrams. I just had it safe on your end.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
why
still
don't I
rushing to
do?
It's a fun tank.
Oh shit, so the... I would... did I just fucking lose audio?
John, maybe try disconnecting and reconnecting to the voice chat. Not here yet.
By the way, we can hear you through the Twitch stream, but we cannot hear you.
Okay, that's a secondary issue.
Yeah, through
Discord.
Okay,
Yeah.
like, this is why Discord needs to fix their shit when it comes to people streaming, because I've been having this issue a lot. I think I need to actually file a report about this. This is starting to get really irritating. That my connection keeps dropping. So let's go into the nitty gritty. So balancing changes. Poland, a new village was added to the northeast with respawn zones, and a stone ridge was added on the shore of the lake, which covers respawn zones. So basically no more cross-map sniping. Poland. So the map changes. You know what? I'm just going to move that off the screen. Probably the desktop pull itself up, but we're going to remove that and just go straight back to War Thunder here. So besides all the new vehicles and stuff, there's a lot of miscellaneous stuff we're not going to talk about in regards to like a lot of technical details. You guys can go read that up on the technical details that are being changed. The big thing, however, what is it? So the big thing, I think we were talking about it earlier, was that tanks now have a... there are different sound effects for the sound engine for ground vehicles has been completely changed up thanks to the new game engine. So new modular principle for the formation of sound events for all the shots of guns, including machine guns, automatic cannons, MLRS and ATGMs. MLRS meaning like unguided rockets, such as like the Katyushas and stuff. New sound for all machine guns on ground vehicles. New sounds for all automatic cannons. Sounds of all guns and ground vehicles have been reworked. New sounds for Katyusha, like so the Katyusha apparently has a new sound. So let's go check that out, because lucky for you guys, I actually happen to have the Katyusha. So let us go on to hear the glorious new sounds. And meanwhile, while that's loading, I'm gonna quit Discord and reboot Discord. And of course, so we now have the big ol' Katyusha. So let's see what this sounds like here, and without my mouse and everything being stolen by Discord. Also, I totally just missed a couple of follows. I'm sorry. I know a whole bunch of you guys just did some stuff. Freaking terrible. I really wish I had this set up properly. Going back to my dashboard on my laptop for Streamlabs.
LOL.
So
Never. I mean, I just witnessed the KV. The
We won't talk about the killing me.
what the hell happened to my microphone? Okay, so
We
Discord
won't talk about Nicktoon
is
killing me and his KV2, and I was in my apron.
okay. I need to go remove that button, whatever it is that keeps putting my microphone into push to talk for some reason.
Hey.
Fuck you, Discord. Still doesn't excuse its connection problems. Ooh.
Well,
Let me crank up the volume on that for you guys. Let me crank that up all the way, because that's woof. Woof. That is scary. Oh, that Panzer II just died. Damn. Let's do that again.
really nice rocket sounds.
Let's do that again. And I'm gonna totally, ear rape warning, incoming, ear rape warning, incoming. I'm blasting this to 100%. I'm gonna probably have to take off my own headphones. You know what, I'm wearing a beanie. I have sound dampening, so. Fire! Jesus fucking Christ. Holy hell. That is a massive improvement over the current sound engine. Wish I could compare it right about now, but holy shit, that was... Nah, they weren't kidding about reworking the sounds. So, essentially what they did, they added a lot of stuff like the tails, like of the rockets flying away, including for the firing, and this also applies to all guns as well, being able to actually hear if friendlies are firing next to you, being able to hear if an enemy has fired off, so on and so forth. The clear differences of sounds of gunshots from the different points of view, like from inside the tank, from outside. Oh, Jesus Christ. Thanks, Nicktoon, for that clip. Occlusion, absorption of high frequencies, and a drop of volume of external sounds. Like, basically, the sound engine in the game for ground forces has been improved so that it feels a bit more realistic, especially if you're in a city environment. Like, the sound won't just, like, echo like it does currently in the game. If you're out in an open field, it just, like, goes boom. You hear that echo. You hear the shell landing, exploding in the distance. In a city, it will go boom, and then there's just that, the shot reverberates everywhere. We could probably test that now as we go in. So I guess this is the point in time where if you're on the dev server and you want to join, We're gonna just go fuck around in a custom battle in the smallest possible map.
I'll join. Just
Yep, so-
give me like 5 minutes to finish my game.
Okay, interesting. So there's Eastern Europe and then European Province, which is a different version of that. But we're going to go for, since we want to actually kind of hear urban sounds, open and urban sounds, we'll probably use Normandy. Actually, no, we'll use Poland so we can go check out Poland. So we're going to use EU servers for this. Daytime. And we will not use the weather right now because I don't want to kill the stream. And I'm going to just make the password simple. So if you guys are watching the stream, you should be able to see the password. It's cockbite with a capital C. There you go. So whoever wants to... Yeah, whoever wants to join.
Trying to grind out.
Yep, so let me bring in some... Also, another thing that has changed as well, on the ground, if you're in a tank and you hear aircraft overhead, that sound has also changed as well. So it's a bit more, you know, powerful, more realistic sounding.
It's cool.
Yep, it's good.
Terms.
So let's bring that. So what is it? Fly around, are you going to join?
Yeah, I'll join in a little bit. I'm still in a game with my
Yeah.
Abrams. I have 17 kills right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to roll in then into Poland so we can also get a look at Poland's updates. Because a lot of people, you know, everybody has complained about the fact that Poland has had issues with, you know, people cross-map sniping. You know, it's just an incessant danger to go from the spawn toward any of the cap zones from either side because it just turns into a cross-lake sniper fight. I feel bad for, like, somebody who's fishing on the lake and suddenly they just see shells whizzing over their heads. Like, what is happening? So, essentially, we are gonna go look at this and get a feel for the sounds in tanks. Let me boost the volume again a little bit. So, I guess if you're having headphones, again, ear rape warning. So, of course, obviously, we bring out Gentleman KV2 1940 edition with his classy, you know, twin top hats, a monocle, a mustache, and, you know, his extra fuel tanks, or whiskey, or vodka, doesn't matter. So, and another thing, the big other update in War Thunder is, I have completely neglected to talk about this, is the new game rendering engine, Dagor 5. So, 5th iteration of Gaijin's graphics engine, or really the game engine itself. Improvements in this update, probably more optimization, as it were, because I'm getting pretty good FPS. I'm running at a high setting, customized high setting, and the terrain, better terrain overall. It's some addition of some more higher end effects built into the game for like doing machinima, like some really, really high end post effects processing. I don't really see that stone ridge, as it were, but there's a couple of new buildings. Is that like villages, or is that like the village that they added or something in the northeast, so it's not as easy to see? I don't know. Okay, so while we're here, let's hear what it sounds like when you fire a KV2 in a more open area. Kind of just echoes there, and then we're going to move into the city, into a more confined environment. Also, I can also test out the new machine gun sounds because the KV2 1940 has a coaxial. Oh, there's a ricochet. I can even hear the ricochet sound as well. Okay, let me reload. Okay, now we're moving into the map. So one of the details with the new Jaguar engine is a lot of, ooh, wow, that new fancy smoke effect down there and a lot more detail on the buildings. I don't know how well it shows up on the stream, but you can see a lot more detail on the buildings. Like, it doesn't look like a flat texture anymore on the buildings. It actually looks, you know, it looks like brick, stone looks like stone, rubble looks like rubble. Is that a pile of poo over there? Stupid dog. And now we're in the middle of it here. I'm just gonna shut up for a moment. Just shut up here and just listen. And now firing in a city, it should sound like this. Whew. Woof. Oh, where is that heat loss gone? Heat loss, where are you?
We captured most of the strategic zone.
Did my microphone die again?
No, John, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
No, my mic is muted.
Yep. Where are you?
Bleeding this.
John, where are you?
Where are you? Where are they?
Actually,
Where are you? Where are you? This is not. We're in a Magog and I'm in a KV. I think there's a slight unfairness right now. I'm sensing.
KB 2 time equilibrium.
really?
Oh wait, yes you can. I've had it happen to me. We won't talk about that.
I won't talk about that. Oh, you're being hit with 152. Even in today, that would be considered overkill. Firing a howitzer at somebody.
Why
At a
not?
tank. Whoa.
Oh, hi, John. Please don't kill me. Oh,
Where are you guys at?
No! Bleed it!
I wasn't gonna shoot you. I was looking for fire out. I want to see if I could kill him.
Oh, you can. Oh, you can. You gotta get past my 105 gun first.
I have this. I think I have the same 105 gun.
Yep. Actually, he lost. Can you get in like an air? Oh, there's an. Oh shit. Oh no, Chiri.
I got.
Holy shit, it's a Chiri.
Gotcha.
A Chiri that's not paying attention. It's an A. Oh Jesus, who's that? Something behind it shot at me. Who is that?
Hey John, where are you?
Why?
John, you
I'm
said
on
get
are
your
you-
team.
Oh,
I
I'm
wanna
in the
brigade
town.
to show your... Oh,
Let's see, what does it sound like when... Let's see, what does it sound like? Oh, that's what they mean by enemy tanks firing. Wow. What does it sound like when it actually fires? Fire your gun again. Uh-oh. It's looking at me. I've made it mad. Okay, that's really scary sounding now. Ow! That hurt. Ow! Jesus, yeah. Yeah, so let me get back in another tank.
Fly around. I see how it is.
Whew, heard that. Actually, let me
screwed
fly
up.
around. Where the fuck?
Oops.
I'm going over to
Oops.
by accident.
Oh, okay. You know, that seems very
Maga.
un-American that a P-47M just bombed an Abrams tank.
Shh. Alright, I'm gonna go.
Wait,
I'd
fly
go
around. Can you respawn in your
direction.
Abrams again? Or,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I want to see it because clearly I'm a
someone
pleb
decap
who
B.
can never.
Someone decap B. We got a issue,
Oh, we
John.
could just. Well, yeah. We'll just restart the custom battle. I'll probably switch it to battle mode.
John.
I heard you.
What?
Yep.
Where are
So
you?
let's see.
John.
And my. What? Alright, where are you? Okay, we're gonna have to.
Going into the...
Yeah, we're. Oh, they. Wow,
Yes.
they just decapped B. Okay.
Where are you at? Where are you at?
Come
Where
over
you at?
here. Come over here.
I don't see you. 3. Oh, there you are. Type
Okay,
62.
one thing I will say. The new machine gun sounds, they are very nice. They don't like I've tried out the sound mod. You know, it's a great the Epic Thunder sound mod is if Michael Bay directed the sound design for War Thunder. But I think my biggest issue with it, especially, it's not so much the big guns, it's actually the machine guns. There's like a weird cutoff that sounds very artificial, like it just the file cut off. But here, you hear it sounds natural.
Alright, Cheery.
Oh hi. Oh hi. Oh my god, your tank just looks... Why does your tank look autistic? The turret is twitching around. Ow.
John, can we turn off the bots next time?
Okay, let's see, one thing. You can't circle straight, you can't circle strafe in Abrams. Don't do that, you will die. You will die. You will lose this battle.
You will. I will tell you now, you will. Now, John, go on the opposite team so we can show him the panel breakage.
Oh, yeah. Or you go on the opposite team. Or I'll go on
I don't
the
know
opposite.
which.
Let me switch it.
No, just
let me just put this into a what is it? Or fly around. Why did you leave the custom battle? Come back here.
Because it's a glitch with my game. I have to leave so I can ready up.
Okay, let me
Welcome to Gaijin.
let me see if let me switch it from domination to battle so that there's no fucking cap soon. So we're gonna use actually, yeah, we're just gonna use Polon.
Let's just turn off the bots. I got
Okay.
killed by Cheery 2 trying to drive over to you guys.
Okay, let me see. Bots
So I wasn't paying
here.
attention.
Okay, so we're just gonna do that. And country selection, so everybody is here. So heat loss, join, or I guess you can join their team. So if you can, fly around in an aircraft first so we can get the idea of what that sounds like. Okay, so ready up, heat loss. Heat loss.
I'm actually going to join your team, so I want to see what I can do in terms of killing the Abrams, specifically with an M22.
Yeah.
Surprised no one's joined us.
Well, you know.
Hey, we're still here. I mean, if you need the password.
Rape warning.
Ping me too.
I'm just gonna pause that so I can watch that for later. I want to watch that clip. Thanks, Nicktoon, for clipping that.
What
I feel fucking retarded. It's the clip of the me firing off the Katyushas.
Is there? I don't know if he has a clip or not. Of
Okay, so
lost the map with it.
yeah. Well, the thing is, when you hit a tank with 150, we know that 152 millimeter shells can knock the turrets off the Tigers.
He cross mapped me right in the weak spot of the Abrams. It was a perfectly placed shot.
Oh, damn.
We're dead.
Okay, so
Where do you wanna meet?
Type 6. Let's meet in the fields right outside. You know, on the side of the map where I usually take. You know, the side of the map where like tanks usually go. So, okay, we're on this side of the map. So they said that they added like a
North of the village.
Oh, is it like? Oh, you mean like the
Big field or village field?
Village.
I think it's the village field.
Oh my god.
Well, we're faster than I am.
So there's like a small field. That's there's like a small
Where
village. Oh, I see what they mean. It's over there in the distance. There's like a stone ridge now that is in a village that's covering up the enemy spawn, so you can't get a clear, like straight, clear shot through. You'll either have to go. You have to like literally. Bombs! Scared! Jesus Christ, that's weird. They're dropping bombs. They're dropping bombs. Run!
That's why I told you not to turn on AI.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ.
Oh God!
This is why.
I thought I turned off all of the AI.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
What if I can hit that go to 17 with APDS?
Well, you can try. Well,
Nope.
we go around to the border. So small, light Chinese tank, Type 62. Ow!
Track. Good, I can use circles around you now. And none of you.
So let's check. Let's check something.
Hey! Dude,
That did nothing.
I'm an Abrams.
I will shoot you.
Okay, wait. So
Hold on,
hello.
I dare you.
So let's
No,
see if
I'm not gonna do it. I said you try
That
to shoot
does
me.
absolutely shit. Oh wait, hey,
Fine.
don't kill me first. We're
Hey,
gonna try to test something.
No, shoot me in the back, at the very back edge of the turret where it won't. You know where. Back of the turret.
Nope. Wait, non-pen. Wait. I don't have any AP shell. Oh. Run away! Flee!
I don't need to. Shoot me in the back of the turret.
God.
What?
There, see it, see it. See it, John, see it.
Oh, well, if I wasn't being shot at by everything. Oh, I see it
So
now.
don't
Look, he's on fire. He's on fire.
Don't
The
put out
Abrams
fire.
is on
What
fire.
happened?
So this is what they probably. Oh my god!
Me. Not. What? Whoa, time out.
Huh?
That didn't register on my screen. I shot you.
That didn't go hit me.
Now that one.
Ah! With my track.
Whoa. I didn't shoot you at your track on my.
He's on fire.
Wait.
This Abrams is on fire. You're on fire. You're on fire. Help!
Ow! Ow!
I have no more ammo.
I'm not. Okay, you're a very hard tank to kill.
And that's what keeps on
Sir.
my side.
No. Die! Aha! Small Chinese tank has killed the Abrams. Well, we are getting absolutely air raped by an air battle of epic proportions. Let's all leave this. Let's say Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm so
Let's,
sorry. Let's not do that.
Try that again.
Yeah, let's try that again.
So I want to see. What I want to see is if I can kill the Abrams with an M22.
Yes, you can.
Really, an M22?
Yeesh.
Like it's no. The
that.
thing is,
Actually,
like
I'm gonna
the weakest
oh.
spot of any tank, even in this game, is still the side armor.
Yeah. Well, I want to test if you shoot me in the ammo and I have a ammo explosion. It says to use FPE. Can I just let it burn out? I want to actually see what happens. I've never let it get that far. I've always popped my FPE as.
All right,
Yeah.
is the
They'll probably either.
over?
Let me switch to a tank that actually just fires APHE instead.
that actually.
Let's just turn off. Let's turn off the bots though.
Yeah, I'll turn them off. Don't worry. Let me just get a. Let me get my ruble. Wait, do I not have my? God damn it, Gaijin! Can I have my ruble at least? My Ru RU25. Where's my RU251? You pricks! God Christ on 'em.
I have everything.
Where is my RU? Bastards!
It's in
I think
this
that
game. I know
I
it.
bought
I
the
killed
damn
them.
thing. Christ!
I have the RU.
I know.
I don't know why
What
it
do you-
isn't loading for you. It's loading fine for me.
Yeah,
Well, I
sorry,
said
John,
I
but they
bought
don't
it, and it's Bleat.
Yeah.
Bugger. So.
Hi, He-Man.
Yeah.
Are we all go-
Okay. Let's
Yeah,
go.
He-Man.
My ears.
Ready up, you bastard. Yeah, heat loss. Ready up, you fuck. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, ready up, he lost.
My
Yeah.
ears. Help me.
Oh, shut up.
You guys on stream don't know what I have to deal with.
Jeez.
It's called
Oh,
being
boy.
raped by two tanks.
Yep. Can you tell Fly Around that his Abrams will never be better than Strong KV2? Says
That'll be the day.
Nicktoon 1219. Okay, so let me
no,
bring
it's
out.
called I saved the KP2 right after that.
Yeah, so I'm bringing out my heavy tank in place first. We'll meet in the same. Oh shit! I didn't turn off the AI, did I? Blitz, leave the match now. Leave the match now. Bail. God damn it! I'm
Bail,
done.
bail, bail.
Oh, Okay. We'll keep testing this, but I guess while we're trying to get this reset, so other than the new, what is it? So other than the sound engine, the new vehicles, and so the basics of the new patch is simply new top tier vehicles, quite a few new aircraft, many of them twin engined, a new sound system for ground forces, and the general bug smashing and tweaking that Gaijin does every major patch, which you can all read in the patch notes because there's a lot of shit that has gone on change. So bots on tanks, like I turned off the bots. There should not be any bots.
Bots on planes.
Yeah,
Bots
where's
include bots? Yes, rank. It's
okay. There we go. No bots. No bots. Okay, I'm ready. Now let's get back in here. Ready up again.
Hey, John, you saw the meme I put in your Dankest Memes channel, right?
Yeah.
For Abrams loaders.
I'm going to decline that phone call because that's coming from Pennsylvania, and I don't know who the fuck is calling me from Pennsylvania. The bots are calling!
Quick! Hide the tanks!
That's good.
Oh,
That's good.
oh boy. So
I cannot wait. So, when do you all think the patch will drop?
I give it not this week, but next week.
I've got people saying that they've only 4 days after the dev server it drops.
Yeah. Okay, so now with no bots to disturb us, the
Okay.
bots are calling. They want their armor back. Perry 10 says hi, smiley
Alright.
face. Hello, Perry. Okay. No bots.
Do you want to meet me in
No
the
shit
field?
in the air. Okay, so let's go back to let's go toward
Lower
the
field,
village.
lower field. No,
lower-
no, 'cause
oh,
you guys
lower
gotta
field.
drive all the way around. I
I
can
can
get there.
Yeah, actually
that
cool.
way.
Nah, just stay down to the lower field. It's easier. 'Cause I can-
I'm M22.
So what? I'm
mean-
still going 40 miles an hour already.
Yeah, and I'm in a
maybe not.
I'm in the King Tiger SLA 16, so I'm not that fast either.
Whee!
Fucking the F22. God damn it.
I'm waiting to see it, but I want to stay across.
There, you have a big
Hey,
ventilation
no,
hole for your engine.
Don't
I'm watching this stream.
Just abusing the
So
M22.
that's
Hans, keep firing! Why can't we kill it? Why can't we kill it? It's getting away!
It's too speedy.
Well, it's on my team too. And they have oh Jesus! Okay, that's really fucking scary. Holy shit.
What?
I just
I took a
fucking
pot
had
shot at him.
yeah, I just had an
Where
Abrams.
is he?
God.
I gotta
Where are
ask you,
you?
how long did it take to level 100? You mean the irrelevance ranking? It's like literally trying to ask, like, how long did it take you to get to Prestige in Call of Duty?
It
Or
depends
double
on if you hold
Prestige?
anything or not.
Yeah, it's, I think the level system, honestly don't understand how it works. It's just, all I know is you move faster when you have premium. And it didn't take me that long when I had a premium
my
count to get
God.
to level 100. But honestly, level 100, you know, that to me is
Don't kill me, don't
absolutely
kill me, no!
irrelevant.
Bye.
And that's-
What do you
It's
Oh,
don't
okay.
kill me.
No, I gotta kill you. It's gonna be.
It's too good. Well, I'm going, like, you know you will kill me. I'm not, there. We have to actually test it. Oh, Jesus Christ, you are a fucking fast tank. Jesus.
I'm not.
Okay, the way
going
you
my
were coming
top speed.
Oh, no! Going, ow! Who is this
And
hipster
bye.
kid?
I was-
Wait, okay, so... Okay, so... Okay,
Let's
stop
try
for a moment, Fly.
22 again.
So, let's just, Nope. Like that's gonna do anything.
No, I balanced
Clearly
these
that
people
won't.
around. Set my ammo rack on fire. I want to see if I blow
Yeah,
up.
so... Okay, so if you guys are just
John,
joining the
try to get back
stream,
my
you
turn.
might want to wait until, especially on YouTube, you guys, you know, that's the nice thing about YouTube is that you can just watch the stream back as a normal YouTube video. You can check out us talking about
Right.
the vehicles on the stream, but so let's,
Side shot will kill me. Side shot will kill me. I'm telling
I know,
you,
we're
I've
not
got no
shooting.
armor down there. You get,
I know.
don't shoot me. There we go. It didn't set it on fire.
No,
Ah.
I destroyed your ammo.
Oh.
No, let me shoot you in the
Oh,
rear
no.
of the turret. Rear corner of the turret. I'm gonna shoot it in a way where it doesn't hit your crew members.
Okay.
So we're gonna
But I
shoot
still
it
got
at a
19
very
rounds
weird
left.
oblique angle. There we go. Critical hits. So what we were talking about earlier. So the Abrams does have the ability, his blowout panels modeled. So essentially, the Abrams tank will not actually be instantly killed if you ammo rack the turret. It will actually cook off. The ammo will cook off. Hey, there goes fly around into the fog.
Actually, oh god, I gotta put it out. It's actually killing my crew.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it out! Put it out! Put it out! You dingus.
I'm 22.
I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm gonna kill you.
Well, okay,
Dang,
that's
damn
an Wait, where did I hit you? It said I hit
Probably
you in the
turret
viewer
ring.
glass.
Right.
Turret ring.
Turret
Well.
ring. Weak
Oh,
spot
it
of
won't
the
take you that long to get back here. You are the Abrams.
Weak spot of the Abrams between the gun and the driver's hatch. If you shoot right there, you.
Yeah, the thing is, people, if you don't have a
if I-
stabilized gun, that's going to be a very hard shot to hit at long range. You'll probably ricochet more off the top or off the upper plate. Honestly, plus, you don't really hear about Abrams getting shot in the turret ring and instantly getting their everything. Okay, where are you, Fly Rat? I actually want to watch you get over here. Let's go into binocular. Yep. Whoa! That is the sound of a shell incoming. Oh my. What? Dude, keep just firing past me. Like, keep firing past. Let me get in the open, but keep firing past me, Fly Rat. Don't shoot at me, Fly. Shoot over me.
I am. I'm trying to make sure, because if I hit a wrong bounce, it will go into. Hey, he lost. See what this sounds like.
Whew. Kind of.
Shoo. Whoa!
Oh, let me stay out of the cap.
Yeah,
Hey.
no.
Hey.
There's no cap
don't.
there, remember?
Woo!
No.
I hate your track.
God, you are fast.
Dude, holy shit.
Wait. How fast is
Cannot
that?
outrun.
I was going 36 miles an hour.
Miles an
Actually,
hour?
let's-
What's that?
I
Yes,
don't know
it's
what that is.
actually, let's just, pop that in the background while waiting, since this is basically the end of the stream here, just us fucking around.
Do.
Ready? That.
Ready.
Ow. Look at that thing. My god, that's beautiful. Actually, the thing is, what is it? My godfather is actually something to
Okay,
know.
you know what?
Hold
on.
My
One moment.
godfather was actually an Abrams tanker in the Marine Corps. He actually went over to Australia to help the Australians train on their new tanks. Is there a way to get on the test server to get Golden Eagles? You should, by default, whatever Golden Eagles you haven't spent since the last update, you should still have them. But generally, they only give out Golden Eagles like the butt ton. I don't know if they just give everybody Golden Eagles or if it's just YouTubers.
Jesus. Oh no. No. I don't like where this is going.
Bye.
No. Oh.
Get off me! Okay, John, go pull him back up. He deserves to live.
How am I not? Oh.
No, no, he doesn't.
Yep, we're
Come
just
on, get a new
gonna
tank.
keep.
Get a
We're
new
gonna
tank.
cut the volume here a little bit. Oh, this dev server. Well, parts of the audio might get muted at the end, but on Twitch.
By the way,
But that's why
JonMan-
you'll watch it on YouTube. I don't know. So, what are we looking at?
Up. It's revving up. Hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's slow McGaw.
It's not even moving. 39 degrees.
I have
Turret
Panzer
moves.
Battalion playing right now. It looks fucking retarded. The music playing.
And I'm just gonna back away at 30 miles. Holding.
This seems absolute. Ow!
Get ready, your turn. Rotation deployed.
Oh wow, that was only the sun coming first.
It's just a machine gun fight now.
Man, I got
I've got 230 cals.
what? Where'd
You
pin me?
cannot kill the king tiger. Come
What?
back.
I didn't try to kill you. I tried to disable you. Two different worlds.
Yep. Well, okay, so yeah, at point blank range, yeah, you can get that. Oh Jesus Christ, I'm about to die here.
No, you won't. Well, then again, you may.
Okay, let's see if you can you actually see. Ow. Ow.
Turret.
Oh, that you know.
Goodbye.
Ow.
I love this thing.
Jesus. God, that thing. Seriously.
And that's the stock. That's the stock shot.
Yep, so I wonder what it sounds like from the air though, because I would imagine some of the stuff had been changed in air battles. So yep, and of course now this stream is totally parts of the stream is gonna probably get muted because YouTube it won't get muted, it'll just say that I can't monetize it, even though I don't monetize anyway. But I think parts of the stream will get muted on Twitch because of the song playing, but you know, it's very appropriate.
Run. No, John, no. No.
Whoa! Okay, that's really scary sounding in air battles. Holy shit! Blip!
Yes! I killed you with a kill.
Okay, God. At least I killed you, though. Okay, no, that is... Dude, you know what's scary? Like, you can tell if somebody's shooting at you with their main gun now. Oh my God, that is scary.
Here, I'll...
Oh.
Solo.
Oh my gosh. So yeah. Okay, so we're is there a way to get the server to get eagles? Like basic I think even it's now actually stated on the dev server, any golden eagles or transactions that you make on the dev server, they will not transfer over to the public server. So I think unless you're a YouTuber, you can't really put any money into the dev server. So
don't do it.
Unless you are a player who is endgame.
Well, no, you'll get those. You'll get those if you put a bunch of money into golden eagles on the dev server. You're gonna get those in the main account.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It still costs you. I tried it. I did test.
Yeah.
Hey. Good shot.
Yep,
Me.
and we will stop the copyrighted music playing. Hopefully, either Twitch won't pick it up or because we're talking. Oh no! What are you guys doing? I'm not even looking at it right now.
Oh,
I'm just gonna. We're just gonna put.
Man, I wish I could get some people in here with P64s and Chiefs.
Just put some other music on for the time here. Okay, so my question is, can an Abrams withstand a 150mm howitzer to face?
Yes.
I just want to see it. Or
okay.
I just want to see. Yeah, I just want to try to kill you in a Sturmpanzer. I remember when this thing came into the game. I've never really used it in combat, but I've never actually played it in that. It's just a really derpy tank, in my opinion. It even looks like a derp. It has like a derp face with the two headlights and the stuff. So, fly around. Where's your super fast tank? Where are you? It's taking me a million years to get up this road.
You will see. You will see. All in time.
Hold on, John. I got some high torque diesel, I think, over here. Let me go help you there. Oh, there you.
Whoa, hey! Don't fire the MGs at me. I have no crew protection here. Wait, can I? Oh, no. Oh my God, that thing stops on a fucking dime. Jesus.
I'm totally
and that's stock. By the way, it's stock. Russian bias. There is no Russian bias here. You clearly see the most overpowered tank in the game. Okay.
Shh. This is the first time America's been overpowered. We don't talk about it.
that never ceases to be funny.
Okay, I can survive KV2 shows. I can't survive a Pants, and that's good to know.
Well, the thing is, no,
survive.
I just did the simple trick of shooting you under the tank, which is, you know, it's like I just basically shot an IED under your tank.
Well, that's nice to know. Don't get near an IED, this would be terrible.
Like, you know, this is what they did in Iraq. They found German old World War II German 150mm shells. They put a pressure fuse on it and buried it in the road. Except this time it's actually a German SS crew depressing a 150mm howitzer gun to shoot and kill a modern MBT under it. Because modern MBTs, just like any other tank, no matter what the era, it was close enough. Oh. Yeah, that's very close. I think Hans just shot his pants. Okay, that is seriously one of the scariest sounds ever now in the game. Just hearing when someone...
That time. I tried to get closer. Well,
oh, and they remodeled the They also remodeled the... Oh my god, that Sabo just...
Stop it.
Well, actually, he lost. No, I didn't try to kill you. What does that sound like? Actually, hold on. Do it to me. I haven't heard it before.
Hold on. If you'd stop moving.
And stop killing him.
Oh. Okay. That was
so... Okay, so now that we're just having fun here, you guys can just start asking more questions.
They don't hit you here.
Oh dear God!
Like any other questions regarding the dev server or even my channel out there?
Please don't kill me.
Now, and see while we move on to go see the goofing around.
No, I'm pen. Hold on, only try the heat.
You're not gonna pen if he's looking at you frontally. He's not. You're not gonna go through him unless you have.
Try the hash.
I will say, with these new effects and stuff, it feels like they've optimized the graphics engine as well. This is the one thing I was hoping for with the new sound engine, is that they optimized it. Oh my god, it sounds really, really nice. Yep. So, Panzer 2H.
Hash on the...
Oh boy.
The
Could you test the Chally? Okay, so Restream did not... Did I miss that comment? Oh, now it comes up on Restream. So, did you test the Chally? Unfortunately, I can't get to it because I won't have enough golden needles to get...
I can't. Hold on.
Do you want to get the Challenger out? Yep.
Yep.
So, okay, bring out the Challenger, fly around.
Yeah, give me a second.
And where's Gulpnik? He needs to bring out his T-64B. Bastard.
Woo!
Well, it took you long enough. Heat loss, I'm coming. I'm a light tank, I can help you.
Back.
Yep. So yeah, so I'm not personally testing it, but we will now proceed to test the Chally's armor. Okay, we're gonna actually just let's just bail out of this match, heat loss, so that we can just... Let me bring a different set of vehicles as well.
By the way, I'm using a friend's account, and he does have the T-64B.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So...
Okay,
so you can...
I'll just try it. Oh.
Oh, he didn't have the... Okay. Alright, you guys want to see the Chally first?
Yep, and I'll bring out my French tank.
Let me go see actually how spaded this thing is. Hold on. I haven't seen it yet. Oh no, it's not spaded. It just got FPE parts and adjustment almost.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep using the Magaki and
essentially with the a lot of the oh my god, I'm just rambling on now. So
session not found. What?
There we go. What? Who is that? The account?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
Don't ask me. He's
okay, now
got
I'm
both
bringing
the
out
Chally and the T-64B, unless you can get Gup on, and then we can have some more fun. This thing is not the fastest tank, though.
Yeah, well, we never talked. The Chally has great armor, but we don't talk about the Chally about for speed. It's better, though. It's better. It should be more maneuverable than the Chieftain, by all means.
Yes.
Okay, show off. You better show off the maneuverability then. Okay, let's meet in the lower. Okay, let's meet in the upper field. Wait, where should we meet? Because lower field or
Upper.
upper field? Okay,
Upper.
upper field.
You're in a
Okay, I'll just
12
bring.
tank, yes, upper.
Oh, why is it? Why it almost sent me into battle with barely any shells in my FL10.
I put it this way. I was playing with the Charlie, and while I was waiting for you to get back, John, I was playing with the Charlie with my one Abrams, and we both were keeping pace with each other. We did a head-on clip. He T-bowed me by accident. We're just both chuckling in
Yep.
chat like.
Anybody
like,
else have the
everybody.
Leo 2K?
I
Yeah, that's actually the other type we should test. But, you know, the thing is, the Leo 2K, it should honestly, I think it just plays like a slightly, I'm going to be honest, I think it would probably play a lot like a shittier MBT-70. Except you have a better overall gun, to a point.
Better gun, you got worse armor.
Yeah, better gun,
Right?
worse armor. I think, yeah. I think that's a general assumption, because I don't play high-tier tanks very often. If I do, it's only Soviets, because the only real high-tier tank I have right now is T-54 1947. So, we clearly have here, oh god, oh no, the Israelis are chasing us. Ahani, the Israelis are chasing us!
Sabaton plays in the background.
Well, it seems a bit fitting. This seems a bit fitting because I'm in the FL10 Sherman, he's in the Magok. Oh no, Egypt is getting... Yeah, run away,
Hello?
Egypt.
Oh, Egypt.
No, go away. Oh,
Fucker.
oh Jesus, that is a scary sounding fucking shell. Oh my god. Okay, I'm getting a bit of...
Woo!
And ladies and gentlemen, well, please welcome the British Challenger tank, Challenger 1. So, of course, obviously, trying to shoot. Nope, that does nothing.
Hey, I wasn't gonna
Okay, show us how maneuverable,
Oh.
how much more maneuverable this thing is now.
Oh, God, this thing is-
Okay, why does the
And-
Challenger's turret doesn't look, I hope they fix the animation because the Challenger's turret doesn't seem to, like, the one thing I hope that they fix in the main server is that the twitchiness that there is from,
Oh, I see it.
from stabilized guns, if you know what I
It's
mean.
It's repairs.
So,
Probably still
oh no,
fast and minus
please don't
power.
vaporize the Sherman. The Sherman hasn't fired at you, well, tried to actually kill your crew. I could shoot your lower plate, but I'm not, I'm gonna be honorable here.
No.
Alright.
No.
I'm target to shoot.
Clearly can't shoot the turret, obviously, but there is theoretically
I don't know
another spot.
which one to kill. I don't know which one to kill.
Okay, apparently I can't do that. Well, that was easy enough. And now let's aim directly. And this is why the Challenger needs to hide behind a fucking hill to be effective. That will happen.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had to test it. It's gone before I died.
Yep. So many people spend some. It's kind of sad. What? $100 for tanks that aren't even good. You know, it's like, you know, people don't spend money on tanks. Not necessarily because they are like the best tanks in the world, but some people just like to fucking collect tanks. Like the serious novelty of having a Sherman tank with a AMX-13 turret on it, and it actually happens to be very good at its tier. This thing is hilarious at its tier, especially with the autoloader in play.
Alright guys, I will be back in about 10 minutes. I will stick my Charlie in a spot. You can see if you can find a spot where you can pen it with machine guns, and I challenge you to find a spot where you can.
Alright.
But
I mean, in terms of why I bought the Magok, it's more of a personal thing. I've always liked the Israelis, and so Israeli stuff.
Well, I must end on a good note before I come back.
I mean, normally I don't
Oh my god.
need them to grind for it.
That is just scary as all hell.
distance
That
we are.
really just still scares the shit out of me. Holy shit. God,
What,
it's
the-
10 p.m. Wow. I've been streaming for almost 3. How many hours has it been now? Jesus, I haven't been paying attention. Good Lord. So, one thing I will say, the Chieftain looks a hell of a lot faster for the Challenger. Ow!
Your
I'm surprised
commander
I-
took a hit.
Yeah. I will say though,
Oh!
Oh!
I was gonna go here. Okay, I'm gonna respawn. You guys gotta come to me because I'll be back in about
See, this
10
is why.
minutes.
That's what will happen if the British try to invade Israel again. That will happen. But you know. So honestly, I think at this point we don't really have that much to do on the server. So I think with that, you know, for all the people who actually sat here for the past 3 hours, let me look. God, I'm almost 3 hours of streaming and talking about 1.77. I think it'll probably be a good time to just let's cut it here because man, whew. So yeah, 1.77 Advancing Storm will be coming soon. If you want to check out the dev server, I suggest you go download the client now. There should be links on the War Thunder forum to it. Go download it and check it out for yourself as well. A new guide video will be coming out this week. Just want to get around, got to finish up some editing. Now I'm done with midterms and stuff. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so. Follow me on Twitch as well so I can, you know, go in toward the Twitch affiliate and just so I can do more live streaming stuff, you know. And I will see you guys later. It's been a great stream. Thank you all of you guys who have stayed around, and I will now cut the stream off. See you guys.